from 194 to the current 240. Last year he had a 12-game hitting streak, but it's been a slow start for Sean. He began the year with a broken right thumb. He broke it in the last exhibition game of the spring. He takes a fastball high, ball one. The thumb heavily bandaged and covered with the batting gloves. He came off the disabled list on the 19th of April. The 1-0 pitch on the way outside, ball two, and the count 2-0. So the Dodgers and the Reds, second inning, Dodgers leading 1-0 on that home run by Shawn Green. The 70th home run hit by the Dodgers this year. The Reds have hit 53. Dreifert delivers, and that's hack foul outside of first, where Davy Collins goes over to knock it down. Now he's looking for a youngster and tosses it up in the seats, and the count 2-1. You know, baseball asks the players and the coaches not to do that, but the players and the coaches had just looked the other way. They're always afraid that someone good intention would toss the ball into the stands and someone would be injured. A drive in the gap to right center, but Green is right there, just a lazy fly ball. So it's an easy inning for Dreifert. 1-2-3. He's retired 6 in a row, and it's still 1-0 Dodgers. Eric Karras will start it off, but Darren Dreifert, he has breezed, retired 6 in a row as the Dodgers try to hold on to a 1-0 lead, furnished by the first inning home run of Shawn Green. Now it'll be Eric Karras, Adrian Beltre, and Todd Hundley against Denny Nagel. Nagel into the windup, left-hander ready and deals, and the first one in for a strike, 0-1. Karras has had a lot of trouble with Nagel in the past, hitting less than 200 against him, but he does have a home run. The Dodgers have hit 5 against Nagel. Fastball is low and inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. For Denny Nagel, he's pitching somewhat with a heavy heart. His father-in-law out in Lakewood, Colorado, has been very, very ill. The 1-1 pitch on the way, breaking ball low, ball 2. His father-in-law has a brain disorder like Parkinson's. He has trouble walking, talking, and swallowing, and there's no cure. Denny worrying about his father-in-law, but he has to go out there and work. The 2-1 pitch on the way to Karras. Fastball whacked to left field. She is gone. And the Dodgers lead 2-0. It is a strong attack the Dodgers have this year. If one guy doesn't hurt you, somebody else always seems to come along. So Green homers in the first, Karras homers in the second, and the Dodgers have taken a 2-0 lead. For Eric Karras, his 13th home run. He has 37 runs batted in. He got a knee-high fastball that he could really drive. And, of course, Eric Karras now, 224 home runs in his Dodger career. 4 behind Ron Cey. Slow curveball to Adrian Beltre in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Beltre 1 for 4 last time he faced Denny Nagel. The strike one pitch on the way to Adrian is hit off the end of the stick foul up along first, and the count 0-2. So Eric Karras bangs it out and gives the Dodgers a 2-0 lead. Beltre hitting a solid .290. 5 home runs, 28 runs batted in. So Dreifert, who won against St. Louis 13-0, has a 2-0 lead early here in the second inning. The strike 2 pitch down and in, ball 1. 1-2. That's the cutter that Nagel has. And waiting his turn on deck, Todd Hundley. By the way, the Dodgers made a personnel move today. The 1-2 pitch way outside, and the count 2-2. They told Onan Masaoka on the aeroplane coming back from Florida that he was going to return to Albuquerque, and it would be an understatement to say that Masaoka took it well. He was crushed. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way. Beltre, it's a fly ball to left center. It's playable. Big Dimitri Young is over there, but Griffey is the captain, and he makes the catch for the out. Well, Denny Nagel is pitching very dangerously in any ballpark. He has faced 6 batters He has given up 2 home runs and 4 long fly balls. And that's a bad way to start. Masaoka went down, and the Dodgers picked up left-hander Trevor Miller. Trevor Miller, who has bounced around a bit, came up with Detroit last couple of years with Houston, and he's now a Dodger. The batter is Todd Hundley. He takes a strike, and the count 0-1. For Trevor Miller, he's a big guy, 6'4", about 195 pounds, 27 years old at the end of this month. Strike 1 pitch on the way. Slow breaking ball inside. 1-1 the count to Hundley. Hundley has a home run in the past against Nagel, but he is only 2 for 24. That's less than a buck. Actually, 083. Nagel into the windup. Denny delivers. Fastball crowds the hitter. Ball 2 in the count 2-1. So the Dodgers on home runs by Sean Green and Eric Harris, leading 2-1, 2-0. 2-1 the count to Todd Hundley. 1 out, second inning. On deck, Kevin Elster. Nagel ready. Denny comes back 2-1 and drops that low. Ball 3. So he's been getting long fly balls. He's given up 2 home runs. Now trying to get the ball down. He has fallen behind to Hundley 3-1. Nagel into the windup and delivers, and a fastball is swung on and missed, and there was something very simple about that. Nagel throwing that 90-mile-an-hour fastball, and Hundley swinging from the hips. Might have hurt his back a little bit. 3-2 the count, and Todd's not quite ready to get back in. Boy, he had a rip at it. So 3-2 the count. All right, they lock up. Nagel into the windup, and the 3-2 pitch. Fastball hit foul way down the left field line, and that'll carry upstairs. But it's just a long, loud, foul strike in the count 3-2. The Dodgers have to improve at home, where they have been a very good road club this year. 5 games above 500. They're only 2 games above 500 here at Dodger Stadium, and this is where they have to get well. The 3-2 fastball is low. Ball 4. So Nagel is struggling a little bit, pays the price for getting the ball up, and then pays the price with a walk for getting the ball down. And the hitter is Kevin Elster.
Shortstop number 43.
Elster, who came off the DL and played Sunday in Florida. Kevin hitting .236. 6 home runs, 17 runs batted in, and most of the damage that he has done against left-hand pitching. Kevin joining the I Hit a Grand Slam club in April against the Reds. So Elster waiting. Nagel a look over at Hundley, who has a short lead, and the first pitch is high, very high. Ball 1, 1-0. For Elster, a little more than half of his hits. He has 17 hits. 9 of them are for extra bases. When he hit his 3rd career grand slam back in April, he had 4 RBIs, all on the slam. The 1-0 pitch, fastball lifted to right field. Coming up and in for it is Donnie Bichette, and he is there to put it away for the 2nd out. That'll bring up Darren Dreifert. And for the Dodgers, they're wondering maybe it would be better to keep him off the base path. Because if you remember, the last time Dreifert pitched against the Chicago Cubs, sliding into 3rd base, he landed heavily, tore his pants, cut his hip, and hurt his knees. And the next thing you know, he was out of gas and had to come out of the ballgame. Dreifert 3-1 for the year. 0-1 against the Reds, 1-1 lifetime. Darren with the bat has just 2 hits, 1 run batted in. Nagel change, and it swung on and missed, and the count 0-1. Dreifert has struck out 7 times during the year. He's big and strong, so if he does connect, he can hit it a long way. The strike 1 pitch on the way is swung on and missed. 0-2 the count. Denny Nagel coming into the game, 44 strikeouts, 28 walks. That's very high for him. That's not the way he usually operates. Now the strike 2 pitch on the way. The left-hander set and delivers. A cutter in there for strike 3 call. So Dreifert goes down, but Karras goes up and away with his 13th home run of the year. And at the end of 2, the Dodgers lead 2-0. Talbinzi, and he takes outside, ball 1, 1-0. Big catcher hurt the Dodgers in the series here when the Reds won 2 out of 3. 1-1. Talbinzi batting 7th for the last 4 games. He's hit safely in 7 out of 9. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fouled away down the line, out of play. Interesting for the Reds. Earlier in the year they came here and they beat the Dodgers 2 out of 3. Then the Dodgers went to visit Jack McKeon in Cincinnati, and the Dodgers knocked the Reds from pillar to post. Remember, they scored 36 runs in 3 games, including 16 in 1 game. 2-2. So even though the Reds have won a few, they must have great respect for the Dodger firepower. 2-2. And ball 3. And of course, for the Dodgers to go into Cincinnati and sweep a 3-game series, that was news. That had not happened since 1988, which happened to be a pretty fair year, if you remember. A drive that's cooking, however, down the line and foul and out of play. Talbinzi, as strong as he is big, he has 4 home runs, 13 runs batted in. There was a time when the Cincinnati pitchers didn't really want to pitch to young Eddie. They didn't think he was that good a catcher. Now that he's hitting .323, they get online to pitch to him. 3-2. A line drive off the glove of Gruselanek. So Talbinzi is aboard. So Ed hit that hard. And the batter will be Aaron Boone.
Number 17, Aaron Boone.
Almost caught. Gruselanek just missed it. Slowed it down with the leather, but that's about all. So Talbinzi is at first and Aaron Boone at the plate. Boone 0 for 3 in the past against Stripert, more than holding his own, hitting .297. And Aaron has certainly come of age. His brother Brett moved on. It doesn't figure that Aaron's going to move anywhere. He's going to be here a while. Ball 1. When Aaron Boone first joined the Reds, he lived with his older brother Brett. And when Brett came to town with the Padres earlier this month, Brett stayed with Aaron, an indication of just how solid Aaron's spot is with Cincinnati. Ball 2. He has started all but 3 of Cincinnati's 43 games. They traded Mark Lewis, who always looked like a replacement, but they traded him away to Baltimore. Boone has surprised some people with his power. He has 8 home runs. Ball 3. He's another fellow who has raised his average by hitting in 10 out of 12. He suddenly moved up to .282, moved up some more to .297, and he looked more like Craig Biggio of late. He's also getting nailed by pitches. He has been hit 8 times. That matches his total for all of last year. Last year he made 15 errors. So far this year he has committed 4. In there, 3-1. You know who's playing well for the Reds, and we couldn't be happier. He is such a wonderful young guy, Juan Castro. And Castro even hit a home run for Cincinnati earlier this year. 3-1 to Aaron Boone, and that's hit to center. Santangelo is there. 1 away. The batter now will be Denny Nagel.
Pitcher.
Nagel has 3 hits, including a double.
Nagel.
He has had 20 some odd at bats, and he has struck out 4 times, so he's not that bad with the bat. Dodgers thinking maybe they will have Nagel bunt and go for 1 run at a time, which isn't a bad idea. Pulls the bat back. Ball 1. especially because of his father-in-law's illness. He contributes money all along the season. The bunt, and Hundley throws in time, and not in time at first. Boy, what a good throw by Todd Hundley. I mean, that was a wire going from just up along the first baseline right into Kevin Elster's glove. So everything about Hundley is totally different this year. And it's great because he worked so hard, and he had to hurry to get Taubensee, but they were unable to get Nagel. So a fine play by Hundley and a force play, 2-6. So not only do they not get the sacrifice, they have the pitcher running as Pokey Reese checks in. Good play by Todd. Ball one. Now a nice save by Hundley. It was a great moment in Chicago when Hundley won the game for the Dodgers, hit a home run over the center field wall, and his wife was hosting a large party of friends on the second floor of the apartment house directly behind left field. It was great to watch them celebrate as Todd went around the bases. 2-0. Todd's wife, Tiffany, the hostess, and she was with the mostest that night for sure. 2-0 to Pokey Reese, getting 299. Three and 0. A lot of times when Darren Dreibert is too strong, too well rested, he overthrows. It's when he starts to get a little bit tired, drag the arm just a wee bit. Everything then has a tendency to sink, and he just gets tougher and tougher. Of course, the last time out, he got too tired after hurting his knee on that slide, and he only lasted 4 1/3 innings. So Pokey Reese with the count 3-0. 2 down, top of the third, 2-0 Dodgers. That's a strike. One negative note for Dreifert working on Pokey Reese. He has faced 10 batters. The first pitch has been a strike only twice out of 10 batters. So that's pitching a little uphill. 3-1. Little roller down to short. Elster goes the long way in the dirt. So Elster, who was on the DL and just came back, acting like maybe the ball just slipped. I think he's more embarrassed than anything else. But it is a dangerous play now.
Shortstop.
Tried to sidearm it.
Marquette.
And bounced it, and Karras couldn't handle it. And that gives Barry Larkin a chance to wake up his club as Elster draws the error. The Reds had a shortstop many, many years ago by the name of Roy McMillan, and I will never forget him for one reason. He never threw anything except directly over him, ever. I think he's the only shortstop I've ever seen who played short that way. That's a fly ball to right. Sean Green cruising over, and that'll be that for Larkin. So the Reds, no runs, 1 hit, an error, 2 left, and at the end of 2.5, the Dodgers lead 2-0. Darren Dreibert and Todd Hundley, I think, pretty happy with their work, and especially that play by Todd Hundley on the bunt by Denny Nagel. Meanwhile, Denny Nagel has been unhappy as he talks to Eddie Taubensee about the home runs, no doubt, of Sean Green and Eric Karras, plus the fact that 5 of the 6 outs in the first 2 innings have been fly balls. 1 strikeout, that was when he struck out Dreibert. So Nagel, a left-hander who normally gives you a very bad time with brilliant control, down 2-0. And the Dodgers coming up again with F.P. Santangelo, Mark Russellonic, and then Sean Green. Santangelo hit the ball pretty hard in every at-bat in Florida, so it was no surprise when he hit a line drive right at Dimitri Young leading off. Ball 1. Santangelo, of course, suffering from inactivity. a pretty career solid 250 hitter. He's hitting about a 118 right now. High fly ball to left field. This is going to be caught by Dimitri Young. One away. But again, and Todd Hollinsworth would be the first to tell you, it's tough to play when you don't play. Meanwhile, Denny Nagel has got to be saying to himself, where is my sinker? Where are the ground balls? I mean, his fastball is not sinking. So that 6 of 7 outs have been fly balls. Grusolonic flied to right in the first inning. Ball 1. Dodgers 2 games behind Arizona and trying to play catch up while at home. Fisted. That was that little cutter that moved in to jam him. 2 down. Now the batter will be Shawn Green. Now left-handers normally have a terrible time against Nagel. In fact, last year left-handers hit 190 against him. But Green walked up there and just smoked it. So we'll see how he pitches him this time. Shawn Green, who does everything so smoothly. When he runs, he cruises. He almost floats. When he connects, he looks like Ted Williams. It reminds me a little bit of Williams when the bat is going through in the swing, but his overall style kind of reminds me of DiMaggio. Right. I mean, Joe, all the years that DiMaggio ever played, those who watched him all that time said the only sign of emotion that Joe ever made was in the World Series. That's going to be hit foul. In the World Series against the Dodgers, you might have heard the wonderful call of Red Barber. Joe DiMaggio hit a ball in Yankee Stadium to the left field bullpen. Al Gianfrido, little left fielder for the Dodgers, went back to the bullpen fence and caught the ball. Joe D was about 10 feet from second base. And when Gianfrido caught the ball, Joe kicked at the dirt. And those who watched him every day said that's the only emotion he ever showed. Another foul ball. And really, in watching Green day after day and night after night, he is the original poker face out there on the field. I have not seen him turn and say a word to an umpire, argue, nothing. Nice traits. 2-2. Dodgers 2, Reds nothing. Shawn Green, remember, gave his gloves away when he hit the home run. So that youngster there, and I assume his father, still have the gloves. So he's breaking in a new pair right now. And Nagel breaks him in with a strikeout. 2 strikeouts for Nagel, and at the end of 3, it's still 2-0 Dodgers. Grand slams. Okay. Who holds the Los Angeles Dodgers record for most career slams? We'll give you the answer a little bit later on. Watch this. We were talking about no emotion from Shawn Green. Watch. Wow. That's about it. We're wondering now if he's going to go and get his gloves back. Get the gloves back that he used to hit the home run and trade him with the gloves he used when he struck out. And Griffey Jr. Right. A lot of home runs. So far, he has 13 this year. And 36 runs batted in. But now he's in the league with a man named McGuire. Fouled away. McGuire with 18. Steve Finley has 16. Barry Bonds has 16. Sheffield has 14. They're all ahead of Ken Griffey Jr. Of course, in career, He is back a bit. Gosh, 129 behind McGuire. 0-2. Of course, he's 29. McGuire's 35. Little ground ball to Karras, to Dreifert. Tell you, in the games the Dodgers have played the Reds, this would be the 7th game. I mean, you would think that that is not Ken Griffey Jr. They have done that kind of a job of muffling that bat. He has not looked impressive at all in the Dodger game. And maybe we should qualify that by saying so far. And here is Dimitri, flied to left field in the 2nd inning. Big, likable guy who looks frightening. I mean, if you look at him, you think, oh, boy, what a mean hombre. He's anything but. He's a big, gentle guy. Little dribbler. Karras is there on the bag. So Driver's making it look easy so far. 2 down in the 4th inning. And the batter will be Dante Bichette. Bichette hit back to the box, halfway back to the box in the 2nd inning. When Greg Vaughn left, they figured Bichette would be the guy to give them great firepower, but it hasn't happened yet. 2-0 Dodgers, top of the 4th, 2 out, bases empty. Sound like a cracked bat, but he'll take it. A base hit to left field. So Bichette breaks the bat, gets a single, and that'll bring up Sean Casey.
First baseman.
That would be hit number 2 of Darren Dreifert.
Casey.
Sean Casey flied to right field in the 2nd inning. He has a 10-game hitting streak. Casey is one of those kids you just have to like unless you're trying to get him out. He had gone to a food fast event at the team hotel Saturday night. It was part of a citywide convention of the National Restaurant Association. He tried a wide variety of cultural cuisine and paid the price. So they're not sure whether he had food poisoning or the flu, but the trainer thought food poisoning would be an indication of a much more serious condition. So he bounced back. No knock on the food then. Ball 1, 1-0. If you watch Sean Casey in between pitches, he has the most elaborate routine in baseball, and he's had it for years. We'll see if he does it now, and we'll call it off. Now watch. He'll step out of the box. Then he'll adjust the gloves. When he started, the gloves were too big, and he got into the habit of doing that. Then when he steps back in, he usually pulls on the back of his pants and lifts a leg up. Well, he touches the bottom, lifts that leg. There you go. He lifts the leg twice like a stalking horse. 2-0. Now back. When they were playing in Milwaukee, every time he would lift that leg, they would begin to count the number of times, usually 3 times. Let's see what he does now. He says it's not a set number. The number is not part of the routine. Oh, let's see. 1. That's all. 1. And he's going to hit one into the gap, coming over his Sheffield to pick it off. Casey hit that off the end of the bat. No runs, 1 hit. A man left at the end of 3.5. 2-0 Dodgers. Answer our Aflac trivia question. Yesterday, Adrian Beltre and Shawn Green hit grand slams. So the logical question, who holds the L.A. Dodgers record for most career slams? Do you know? Well, here it is. Sure, Mike Piazza with 8. Gil Hodges hit 14 in Brooklyn. Eric Karras has 2 as he visits with Todd Hundley. Dodgers leading 2-0, bottom of the 4th inning. Sean Green visiting with Adrian Beltre right now. The Dodgers will have Gary Sheffield, Eric Karras, and then Adrian Beltre.
Well, let's give Timothy a big Dodger Coca-Cola cheer. Thank you for joining.
Dodgers 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 swings of the bat by Sean Green and Eric Karras. Sheffield flied to right field in the first inning, 0 for 1. Nagel is 4-0. 2-0 at home, 2-0 on the road. But he's been a much better pitcher on the road than he has been in Cincinnati. Check swing. Did he? Yes, he did, says Mark Hertzbeck. 0-1 the count to Gary Sheffield. Scoreboard shows 1-0, but they're going to have to correct that. No balls and 1 strike. Breaking ball missed. So the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, they have it wrong on the board. They're still holding to 2-0. But we saw Hertzbeck call strike, so they're going to have to turn that around. 1-1 the count. It's still not right. Ball 2. 2-1 the count to Gary Sheffield. They're still behind. We must be breaking in. Somebody do. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Chopper, big play, long throw in the dirt, backhanded by Casey. So a nice play by Sean Casey. Aaron Boone making a very long throw, and the batter will be Eric Karras. Backhanding on the line, leaving the skin cranked up to fire, and just couldn't get it there. And Casey at the other end gobbled it up. 1 out in the 4th. Nice to have a big first baseman. It is a comfort to all infielders, and he's big. It's like throwing to a building. Eric Karras homered in the 2nd inning. He's hit 224 now in his career. 4 behind Ron Say. Ball 1. Eric has really come alive with the bat. He is now hitting 280. One of the many reasons why the Dodgers have really started to take off. Right. There is really no resting place for the pitcher through the heart of that lineup. 1-1. Popped up. Sean Casey coming to the plate and coming in a hurry. He wants it. He's got it. 2 down. So with 2 out here in the 4th, the batter will be Adrian Beltre. Beltre flied to center in the 2nd inning. Dodgers home, 3 with Cincinnati. Then a day off. Then 3 with Philadelphia. And then 3 with the New York Mets. And that ought to be quite a showdown. The Mets will be here 29th, 30th, and the 31st of May. High pop fly. Going out to get it is Pokey Reese. He wants that one, and he's got it. So the Dodgers are gone in order. And at the end of 4, Driver's going back to work, leading 2-0. To help out. And of course, Ron Oster played a lot of ball for Cincinnati. So he's working on somebody's bat to get the grip ready. Ron Oster, a wonderful infielder for Cincinnati, coaching at 3rd, and a ground ball to Beltre. Plenty of time to gun out Talbinzy. The Reds are up there swinging at the first pitch, so Driver is not having to work hard at all. You know, you can watch the Dodgers on Fox Sports Net 2 for your chance to win a new Dodge Grand Caravan. That's right. To enter, send a postcard, name, address, and daytime phone number to this address, or visit foxsports.com. And if your name is announced for the Dodge Grand Caravan Grand Slam inning and a Dodger hits a Grand Slam, you'll win a new Dodge Grand Caravan. It's the Dodge Grand Caravan Grand Slam Sweepstakes. So be sure to enter today. Of course, the Dodgers have been hitting a couple. Both Beltry and Green hit him yesterday. Sheffield the night before. A strike. Aaron Boone. Drivett right now has made 53 pitches. 0-1. Little ground ball to Grusolanic. That's the thing about Dreyfus. When he is on his game, the outs are feeble. You don't see a lot of balls hit hard.
Denny Nagel.
So Denny Nagel coming up. 2 out. 5th inning. Dodgers leading 2-0. The Reds have enough firepower. The Reds have not been shut out this year. He was late, but he is a pitcher. 0-1. Nagel hitting 176. He's a good guy to have in a ball club. He has a great personality. Very funny, really nice guy. Denny Nagel. One of the things when he was with Pittsburgh and again with Atlanta, he has a knack of making actual sounds. He can make the sound of a train, and you'd swear it's a train coming. Hold it, Denny. Ball 1. 1-2. For years with Pittsburgh, then with Atlanta, and now with Cincinnati. And on the beam, he should win, well, 15, 17 games. He's that good. Got him. Breaking ball put him away. Another easy inning for Darren Dreyfus, who has allowed only 2 hits. And at the end of 4.5, 2-0 Dodgers. Dodger history, 1949. Dodger pitcher Don Newcomb hurled a 5-hit shutout in his first major league start, beating the Cincinnati Reds 3-0. Big Nuke went on to win the Rookie of the Year award. He also won 27 games in 1956. He helped the Dodgers for 8 years, and even in his rookie year helped pitch him into the World Series. Big Nuke. He was also a heck of a hitter. Big number 36. Todd Hundley is getting ready to go to work. Batting gloves. Now the bat with the donut, which I believe was invented by the late Elston Howard of the New York Yankees. Remember, in the old days, certainly when I was a kid trying to play, you would swing 3 bats. Then they came up with the idea, why swing 3 bats? We'll just give you a bat that weighs 50 pounds. Let you swing that. Then they came up with that idea. But a lot of the players just like to put the donut on it, as they call it. That adds the weight. So then when you're up at the plate, the bat feels so much lighter. Ball 1. Yeah, those are the donuts. Every now and then it's funny to watch a ball player put a donut on the bat and he can't get it off. Breaking ball, 1-1. Hundley, Elster, Dreyfus. Bottom of the 5th inning. I hope that she is watching, because tonight's contestant for our new Dodge Grand Caravan, the Grand Slam Sweepstakes, her name is Becky Dietz of Los Angeles. 1 out on a bullet. And Becky has to hope that the Dodgers will load the bases and somebody will hit a slam in this inning.
Elster.
There's Kevin Elster. Flied to right field in the 2nd. There has only been 2 ground balls. Grusolanic rolled 1 to Casey. Sheffield bounced 1 to Boone. Everything else in the air. Elster flied to right, 0 for 1. He's going to fly to left. If Dimitri Young can catch up to it, he started back. 2 down. So Nagel is getting away with it. Fly balls are no. However, he paid the price. The home run by Green in the 1st inning and the home run by Karen. Meanwhile, Dreyfus for 5 innings has just been brilliant. Tell you one thing, the National League will shudder if Darren Dreyfus and Chan Ho Park come of age the same year, and they are showing those signs. So here is Darren, struck out in the second inning. Foul ball down the line, out of play, 0-1. Two runs, 2 hits for the Dodgers. No runs, 2 hits for the Reds. 2 out, bases empty in the 5th. Good breaking ball, and he held up. It's going to be a strike anyway. 0-2. Wouldn't bite on that one. 1-2 to count. Dodgers 2, Reds nothing. Bottom of the 5th. Reese, Larkin, and Griffey will be due up in the 6th. 2-2. Denny Nagel, 6'3", 225 pounds. He's well put together. He'll be 32 September the 13th. Got him. Fastball put him away. Dodgers are down in order. And let's see, that's 11 in a row retired by left-hander Denny Nagel, but he's still down 2-0. Pizza Hut. And in case you wondered what we meant by bucket hat, here's our chapeau. Pretty nice, huh? And on the back has a little bit of the sponsor's name, Pizza Hut. Keep you dry in a shower. Good for playing golf. Good for keeping off the rays. And it's yours tomorrow night. So come on, have a hat full of baseball and get our bucket hat tomorrow night right here at Dodger Stadium. Let's go back to the ball game. Tough ball game. 2 home runs. Sean Green and Eric Karras the difference. And the Dodgers trying to hold on to a 2-0 lead. Darren Dreibert allowed a single by Talbinzi leading off the 3rd inning and a single by Bichette with 2 out in the 4th. Now it's the 3rd time around. Pokey Reese, Barry Larkin, and Griffey Jr. The Reds had only one little threat. A forced play and an error put 2 men on with 2 out, and Barry Larkin flied to right field, and that was it. That's a fastball strike. 0-1. Pokey grounded to short. Reached on the throwing error, charged to Kevin Elster. Chase the sinker. 0-2. The Reds feel that Pokey Reese will benefit from the return of Barry Larkin. He went into a dive from 3 hits and 26 at bats to see his average go from 341. Now he's hitting 297. And he smokes it to center. It's a base hit. So Pokey, a line drive single. Now Larkin and Griffey. That is hit number 3 against Darren Dreibert.
Larkin.
Barry Larkin is playing, and he is thrilled to play. He went on the disabled list on the 22nd of April with a torn sheath that surrounds the tendon on the middle finger of his left hand. When he was hurt, he was hitting .355, 2 home runs, 13 RBIs, and 5 stolen bases in 17 games. So they really missed him. Oh, they did pretty well without him. They were 13-9, but with him, they can be a lot tougher. But he is still hurting. He's not 100%. Barry says that he has trouble gripping objects with his left hand. And he said, if I catch the ball in the palm of my hand, I get pain. If I catch the ball in the webbing, I'm fine. I don't have any real pain when I hit. Pokey Reese over there at first base. If nothing else, one of the top base stealers in the league. He has stolen 14 out of 16. Dodgers were able to pick off Luis Castillo, the leader, yesterday. Ball 1 to Barry Larkin. The Reds are very tough. Recently, they beat Houston back-to-back in the middle of May. And Billy Wagner each time blew a save. And the Astros were 95 and zip when leading, but the Reds came back to beat them twice. Reese hit a 3-run home run. They won in the 14th, and Griffey hit a home run. So Reese trying to lead them back now. 2-0 Dodgers, top of the 6th inning. And a balk. Balk is called by the first base umpire, Mark Hirschbeck. And so down to second goes Reese, and he is more than a distraction. For Darren Dreibert, that would be the second balk. He also has 5 wild pitches. Obviously, let's see, watch his left leg and left foot. See, he kind of jumped and threw to first without stepping, and you're supposed to step in the direction you're going to throw or pitch. So a runner at second, nobody out. Larkin and Griffey next. And that's going to be a base hit. The Reese will score easily. Third base umpire Brian Onora fell down, but he didn't have a play, and the run is in. That's always embarrassing for an umpire, but Brian Onora started out on the grass in left field, and he went right down on his wallet. All right, 1 run is in. It is 2-1 Dodgers, and here comes Griffey Jr. Junior is struck out and grounded out. 0 for 2. For Griffey, he started every game for the Reds. He had a stretch there. He had 1 hit in 10 of his last 15 and getting a lot of walks. And we mentioned earlier, he's on his way to break a franchise record. Ball 1. And the thing about it, when you start getting a lot of walks, and if you are a superstar like Griffey and a home run hitter, you become impatient. And you start going after bad balls. And that's one reason why he's hitting .235. 1-0. That's a strike. Looking back to his salad days, and you can see the big years that he has had. Last year with Seattle, he walked 91 times. That would be the most since going back to 93. In 1993 for Seattle, and he was a .300 hitter. He had 45 home runs. He had 109 RBIs. That year they walked him 96 times. So it's all part of his game. 2-1. Foul ball. 2-2. You look at Griffey and you look at Shawn Green. They both have the problem. They're both left-handed, and they're both coming over to another league. Shawn Green, 9 home runs, 32 RBIs, hitting .325. Griffey, impressive with 13 home runs, 36 RBIs, hitting only .235. Obviously, they are different hitters in some respect. Griffey has Dimitri Young hitting back of him, and most of the time, Shawn Green has Gary Sheffield hitting back of him. You know Bill James, have you ever heard that name? He's the statistician who does all kinds of studies, and he claims the so-called protective hitter doesn't really have any influence. 2-2 to Griffey. Oh, he's still up there hacking. Dodgers had Green homer in the first, Karras homer in the second. The Reds have a run, and on deck Dimitri Young. Two and 2 to Ken Griffey Jr. Nobody out. Tying run, Larkin at first. Foul back. Now Hundley decides to talk a little bit about what are we going to do with this guy. He keeps fouling him off. It's the age-old story, though, especially if a pitcher has been around for a little while. The catcher suggests, because there are only two men in baseball who win or lose. The manager, because that's his record, however the season ends for his team, the manager wins or loses. And a pitcher, because he gets the W's and he gets the L's. Everybody else, batting average, RBIs, etc. But when it comes to winning and losing, he's one and Dreifert is the other. Two and two to Griffey Jr. 0 for 2 tonight. 1 for 8 against Dreifert. That was a home run. Held up. Boy, that was close. That's a tough pitch to take with 2 strikes. I think Hundley and Dreifert thought they had him. 3 and 2 the count. Take a look. Well, it dropped, but it was already through the zone. So this is a huge pitch now. It's going to affect, among other things, the thoughts of Dreifert. There goes Larkin. Bad ball. Swung on and missed. So we talked about it. When you walk a lot, you get impatient. And that's ball 4. And Griffey swung at it. Big out. Which is what he has been, let's face it, so far in 7 games. That pitch was way down and outside. So Junior strikes out a second time tonight. Take another look. Out there. Off the plate. Down he goes. So the Dodgers have completely silenced him in 6.5 games. However, that's only the first out. Tying run is now at second. And with 1 out, Dimitri Young fly to left, grounded out, hitting .291. Ball 1. One other note on Junior. 41 walks, 35 strikeouts. Big Dimitri. His dad, an airline pilot, had been an Air Force pilot. So he had been an Army brat. Russolonic is on net for the second out. Now the tying run is 90 feet away. And again, when you're at Dreifert and you're throwing sinkers, he has 5 wild pitches. And as Donnie Bichette comes up, there will be pressure on Todd Hundley. So the tying run 90 feet away, and Donnie Bichette hit the ball halfway back to the box in the second inning, broke his bat in the 4th, and bluked one into left field for a base hit. So Hundley out to the mound, going over how they want to pitch to Bichette. They don't want Casey, who's on deck, not the left-hand batter. So this will be a big sequence. Hundley, the veteran, talking to the young pitcher. Meanwhile, a veteran hitter waiting at the plate. He has been a huge disappointment for Cincinnati, but let's face it, we're still in May. June, July, August, September, a long way to go. The Reds are 1 game back of St. Louis. The Dodgers are 2 games back of Arizona. Larkin ready to get a jump if a pitch gets away at the plate. Little chopper foul. 0-1. Oster right there to handle it. Boy, that is really heartbreaking if you are the Cincinnati manager, the general manager, and the people who pay big bucks to get him. 0-1 the count. Little ground ball. Isn't that something? Boy. So the bigger they are, the softer they hit the ball, and Bichette fails yet again. However, the Reds get one, and at the end of 5.5, 2-1 Dodgers. Quick look at the scoreboard. They had to make up a rained-out game, so they played a doubleheader in Milwaukee. Would you believe the first game, Houston led 7-2 in the bottom of the 9th inning. And Davey Lope's boys scored 7 times in the 9th inning to tie, picked up a run in the 10th. Milwaukee won it 10-9, and for good measure, came right back and beat Houston 6-1. San Diego and New York scoreless in the 6th, Glendon Rush and Matt Clement. And over in the American League, Toronto beat Chicago 4-3. A holiday in Canada today, Victoria Day. Jim Tracy chatting with Darren Dreifort, leading 2-1, maybe about the balk. Meanwhile, F.P. Santangelo a strike at the plate, 0-1. Santangelo lined out to left, flied to left. A few moments ago, we talked about how the Reds came back twice to take saves away from Billy Wagner. Well, Wagner was in that 7-run 9th and couldn't stop him. Aaron Boone on the money to Casey, one away. For Denny Nagel, as he stands out on the mound, he knows he is due to bat 4th when the Reds hit in the 7th inning. The Reds do not have a complete game amongst their starters. Danny Graves has 7 saves. Scott Williamson has 5. So usually McKeon late in a game will not hesitate to hook the starter. Here's Gruselanek, flied to right, grounded to first, so he's gone the other way twice. Breaking ball, that big, slow, tantalizing curveball. 0-1. Gruselanek has done a remarkable job, really, in a short time, 2 months, making the transition from short to second base. 1-1. It is a very tough thing to learn, from looking at the runner coming down at you as you're making the double play and having your back to the runner. Some of them just can't make that change. Right. There it is, all right. Second base. One thing to be Larkin, it's a totally different thing to be Pokey Reese. Reese uses a Larkin model glove. Slow curve, fouled away. So it figured that using a Larkin glove, he wound up getting a Gold Glove. Of course, now that Ray Ordonez is in the league, it doesn't look like Barry Larkin is going to win very many Gold Gloves anymore. It's almost automatic for Ordonez, whom you will see next week when the Mets are here. Little chin music, 2-2. Nagel, as usual, excellent control as walk 1. Dreifort, remarkable for 6, no walks. 2-1 Dodgers, 6th inning. And bang to center. That was a bad ball. Nagel had it get up, and it just was a change up and away, and that was his early problem anyway, getting the ball up. So he pays, but only with a single instead of a home run. Now Sean Green coming up with 2 out in the 1st inning. Sean checked in at the plate. Bad time. Here comes Nagel, and there goes Green into the seats in right center field. It was Sean's 9th home run. Next at bat, he struck out and gave it a big wow. Sean hitting .327. Ball 1. Two runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run, 4 hits for the Reds. Tough one. Arizona not scheduled. So when this is over, the Dodgers either trail by a game and a half or 2.5. Gruselanek at first with 1 out.
Fastball hit in the air down the left field line. Dimitri Young was way over in left center. Can't catch up to it. He's playing Shawn Green to pull. So it was an overnight hike for him. 1-1 to count. Still coming, but the ball goes foul and in the seats. Then he goes all the way back. One and one to count to Shawn Green. Scott Sullivan gets up in the Cincinnati bullpen. Scotty's going to loosen up. We told you, of course, that McKeon would not hesitate to hook the starter. 1-1. 1-2. Shawn hitting .327. He's almost 100 points higher than Ken Griffey Jr. On the hand, 1-2. Well, we showed you Scott Sullivan. Now he's going to be joined by Scott Williamson, so it is Great Scott down there in the bullpen. Jack McKeon looking for some runs. He has only gotten one, and it was a balk that set that run up. One ball, two strikes. Base hit for Shawn. Grassolonic will stop at second. Drew the throw. So Green chimes in with his second hit. He's 2 for 3. And that will bring up Gary Sheffield. And we'll see if McKeon sends a hook out there or not. It's a tantalizing spot for the manager. He would like to stick with the starter, get into the bottom or get into the bottom of the lineup and hit for him. A lot of times you wait and you wait too long. So he checked with Gullett, and he has the two Scotts in the pen. Sullivan and Williamson. So Nagel in trouble now with 1 out, 2 on, and Gary Sheffield flied to right in the first inning. And remember, Aaron Boone backhanded the ball on the foul line, and it was a good play by Casey to dig out the long throw. Ball 1. In the past, in checking Nagel versus Sheffield, Sheffield has won a lot of the battles. He was hitting over 400 against him coming into the game. Inside now, outside, 2-0. Eric Karras on deck. You would think that this is going to be a do-or-die situation for Nagel. If he loses Sheffield, walk, or anything else, you would expect McKeon to bring the hook, but we'll see. 2-0. A change and a high change. Sheffield gestures to Dan Iasonia. Hey, that ball was up. 2-1. Two on. You have Grassolonic at second, Green at first, 1 out. 2-1 Dodgers, bottom of the 6th. Ground ball hard, backhanded by Larkin to Pokey for 1 and to Casey for 2. Fine play by Larkin to backhand it, and a great play by Pokey Reese to spear a high throw and turn the double play. And at the end of 6, 2-1 Dodgers. 2-1 Dodgers, and there they are. Pokey Reese on the left, Barry Larkin on the right. We were talking about the problems of being a second baseman. Nice pick there by Larkin, but the throw is high, and here comes Green trying to get him, And Larkin turns it anyway, and Green sat on the ground with a stunned look, looking back as if to say to Reese, where did you go? I thought I had you. That's a great double play and in the clutch. So Pokey and Barry. For Gary Sheffield, inches from a base hit and an RBI, and Larkin took it away from him.
Number 21.
So now to the 7th.
First baseman.
As Gary, who's been through it all before, takes a little chew out there. Sean Casey, Eddie Talbinzy, and Aaron Boone in that order. Casey flied to right, flied to left. He has a 10-game hitting streak. Ball 1. With a name like Sean Casey, he was rushed to the defense when he went to that food fest and ate all kinds of cultural foods. I'm sure he did not have corned beef and cabbage. No way. 1-1. From listening to all the experts, this kid's going to have some career. He'll be 26 in July. One and two. Remember what happened as Dad is trying to help son, giving him some cotton candy to keep him busy. You know, Sean Casey went through a terrible time, and he goes through an even worse time now as he's rung up strike 3. Fox Sports Net 2 presents Dodger Baseball, brought to you by General Motors, makers of Chevrolet, by Super Cuts, as hip as you want to be, and by Toshiba Portables. Choose freedom, choose Toshiba. Sean Casey strikes out. Just to conclude the thought, he had a lot of plastic surgery. He was hit in the face. A lot of people have wondered if he'd ever be able to come back, but he did. They had a cut from his lip underneath his nose to the gum line under the right eye and put a plate and screws into a broken orbital bone. I mean, he went through a terrible time. 0-2 the count. Eddie Talbinzy. Single to right, grounded to third. Big catcher, 1 for 2, hitting .325. One and two. 2 runs, 4 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run, 4 hits for the Reds. Dreifert, no walks. Nagel, 1 walk. On deck, Aaron Boone. One and two. Dreifert's ball constantly moving, never quite where the hitter expects it. Oh, sure, he gets whacked around. They all do. But when he is on, it's like hitting a rattlesnake's head. Two and two. Remember the draft? Everybody wanted Alex Rodriguez. Seattle drafted first. The Dodgers drafted second. Seattle drafted A-Rod. And the Dodgers drafted Dreifert. 2 and 2. Line drive and a diving catch by Elster. He throws to first, but the hitter was called out by Wally Bell immediately. Why did Elster throw? Because he didn't want to play umpire. He's a veteran. He catches it, showed it then just in case he wasn't going to get the call. He threw to first. Shows it. Has an ice cream cone, but he's got possession. But then he thinks He looks at the other umpires. He doesn't see Bell, so he thinks, well, I better throw. And the batter is Aaron Boone, and he hits it to Sheffield. So Drivert breezing through. And at the end of 6½, Dodgers 2, Reds 1.
Leading off the Dodgers.
Oh, now there is a dad having a ball, a son in one arm and a daughter in the other. Lucky guy. Yeah, there are lots of them here. Hope you'll include us in your plan. Bring the family. It's a nice place to be. 2-1 Dodgers, bottom of the 7th. Karras, Beltry, and Hundley. For Denny Nagel, down by 1. If you're the pitcher, you have a sinking feeling now. You know that you're coming out no matter what at the end of this inning. Fly ball to center. Junior is there. I don't know why I thought about it, but many years ago, the battleship Missouri was run on the mud flats. And a columnist in New York was trying to defend the admiral who ran the Missouri on the mud flats. And he was saying at the very end, after defending him, but we don't pay no big brass, no big dough to put no big ship on no mud flats. And I just suddenly thought with Griffey, we don't pay no big dough to catch fly balls. Ball 1. Griffey tonight has struck out twice, grounded out 0 for 3. Had a big chance to tie up the game in the 6th inning. It's still 2-1 Dodgers, bottom of the 7th. Fly ball into left center. Big Dimitri calling. 2 down. Who was the columnist who wrote that? I think it was Robert Ruark, who wrote some pretty good bestsellers that were like Something of Value, made movies about Africa.
Catcher.
So here's Hundley coming up. Walk, lined out to third, 0 for 1. Hundley hitting .290. Dodgers got a run in the first inning on Green's home run. Then Karras homered in the 2nd. In the 6th inning, 2 singles, a stolen base, and a balk, and the Reds got 1. The Reds got the tying run to second base with 1 out. They got the tying run to third base with 2 out, and they left him there as both Young and Bichette hit little ground balls to Grusolanic. 0-2. Barry Larkin single to score Reese. Reese had singled. He was balked to second. Barry picked him up, but that's it. Then they combined to make that brilliant double play to shut the Dodgers down from scoring more in the 6th inning. And while looking at them, we should remind you, when the Reds hit in the 8th, there'd be a batter for Nagel, then Reese, and then Larkin. The number 1 pinch hitter for the Reds is Hal Mars. The number 2 pinch hitter is Chris Stein. And number 3, Michael Tucker. So we'll see. Curveball and a good one. Nagel has walked 1. He's been right on the money. The only walk was to Hundley way back in the 2nd inning. So he really settled down after giving up the 2 home runs. And when he needed the ground ball after all the fly balls, then he got the ground ball for the double play. Two and 2. Of course, let's face it, even that ground ball, that was heading for left field, except for Larkin. So Barry not only saved a run, and Reese made that brilliant turn of a high throw and got the double play. So 2 second-place clubs. The Reds 1 behind the Cardinals. The Dodgers 2 behind Arizona. And they're just putting up quite show. Breaking ball got him. So down go the Dodgers. That figures to be the end for Nagel. And at the end of 7, Dodgers 2, Reds 1. Look at the look on that young man. Well, Denny Nagel getting a lot of 5s, pitched exceptionally well, went 7 innings, allowed only 2 runs, but Dreifert has outpitched him. He's allowed only 1. And so the Reds have to go to the hitter, and it will be Michael Tucker. Tucker hitting .204, but he does have dangerous power. 5 home runs, 9 runs batted in. Right. Tucker has a home run in the past against Darren Dreifert. Tucker's big problem, when he first came up, they thought he was a top prospect, but he just doesn't hit left-handers at all. He can't play every day. High fly ball into left center field. Santangelo to the track, to the wall. It is gone. He can hit right-handers. So Michael Tucker off the bench to hit a pinch hit home run. And now it is Dreifert who is on the edge of having a hitter bat for him. For Tucker, it is his 2nd hit as a pinch hitter. And it goes for the distance. Fastball out over the plate. And his bat is quick enough and he is strong enough to put it in the seats.
Second baseman.
For Darren Dreifert, the 7th home run that he has allowed. And he is furious, and understandably so. So Tucker saves the bacon of Denny Nagel. Gets him off the hook as far as losing. Nagel could even win if the Reds take the lead. And a drive to left. Going back on that is Sheffield, and it is off his glove in the wall. And Reese is into second base. So Pokey Reese drills one to left. Sheffield unable to handle it. And now the Reds threatening to take the lead. Sheffield at the wall reached up, and it looked like he might catch it. Let's take a look again. Watch now. With 2 hands, it hit right in the glove. So in all honesty, he should have caught it. Absolutely. We'll see now how they're going to rule it. Claude Osteen has gone out to the mound to talk. They are ruling it a double, no doubt, because Sheffield had to go to the wall, leap in the air. And the old story, it is part of the Bible of being an official scorer. If it takes a good play to retire the batter and the fielder fails to make it, then give him a hit. So Reese is at second with nobody out, a 2-2 tie. Pokey scored the other run in the 6th inning. And now Dreifert really has to go to work with Terry Adams back of him in the pen. Larkin, Griffey, and Young. A tough trio with a tiebreaker at second. When the Dodgers bat in the bottom of the 8th, Elster, Dreifert, and Santangelo. So Darren trying to hang tough. 88 pitches, so he is not overworked at all. Remember, no walks. 4 strikeouts. Larkin grounded out, flied out, single to left. A bunt. And juggled, caught. Oh, what a big break. Larkin trying to bunt Reese over to third, and a diving catch by Hundley. Huge play. 1 out.
Center fielder.
Spinning, juggling, catching it again. So a fine play by Hundley. A frustrated Larkin takes a hike. And now it's up to Griffey Jr. Jr. has struck out twice, grounded out. As you can see, hitting a .125 against the Dodgers. Sinker, he wouldn't bite. Ball one. Griffey against Dreifert. 1 for 9, but that one was a home run. Two in the 8th. Look out. Driving Griffey off the plate. Griffey's only been hit twice this year. Dreifert, however, has hit a half a dozen. Now it'll be interesting to see the location. After coming way inside, will he come back in or will he work him away? 2-0. Away. And it's hit in the air. Here comes Sean to pick it off. Pokey has nowhere to go. So, if you're the Reds, if Larkin had gotten the bunt down, Reese would have gone to third. That fly ball would have picked him up. But Larkin didn't get the bunt down, and the Dodgers get Griffey yet again. And the batter is Dimitri Young. Big play by Todd Hundley on that foul bunt. Larkin, by the way, in looking up his numbers, as you see, Junior, Larkin had one sacrifice this year. So Dimitri flied to left, grounded out twice, 0 for 3. Strike outside corner. So that was the play. Larkin's inability to get it down. The great diving catch by Hundley. 0-1. Dimitri hitting .289. 1-1. Dave Hansen always holding a bat and waiting. Dreifert due to bat second in the bottom of this 8th inning. Young 0 for 3 tonight. He is 1 for 10 against Dreifert, but that one was a home run. Ball 2. So Tucker comes off the bench and hits a home run to tie it. Reese doubles, and Dreifert keeps Reese at second base. 2 outs later. Well, Barry in his 15 years talking to Dennis Menke. They've both been in baseball a long time. And there goes Reese to third. And the throw to third, he's in there. So Pokey Reese got a jump and steals it. That's his 14th stolen base. It was a good throw by Todd Hundley. I mean, there was a lot on that throw, too. But Reese is cat-like, and he has now stolen 15 out of 17. Throw was right there, but not in time. And Reese hung onto the bag with his left foot. So now a go-ahead run is 90 feet away. With 2 out, 2-2 to Dimitri Young. Fly ball to left field. Sheffield coming up. Dreifert got out of the jam. Might not have been a jam, in all honesty. If Sheffield had caught the ball, but it would have been huge if Larkin had gotten the bunt down. We're even at 2. Here at Dodger Stadium, Darren Dreifert has finished his work, and like Nagel, he goes out tied up 2-2. However, Darren still has a chance to pick up a win because he is still the pitcher of record. Nagel, who went 7 innings, allowed 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts, was thinking about a win when Reese doubled, but that was denied. Dreifert allowed 2 runs, 6 hits, no walks, but it was Michael Tucker who pinch hit and homered. Had got the Reds even. Tucker stays in the game, batting 9th in left field, and Scott Williamson is the new pitcher. Williamson, 24 years old, in February, a 9th-round pick, and had never made a pro relief appearance before he made the Reds in spring training. Good fastball, 0-1. He had a Rookie of the Year season his first year. He led the rookies in wins, saves, and relief innings. His fastball in the upper 90s with a hard slider, and he's working on a change. Kevin Elster flied to right and flied to left. So Scott Williamson, 185-pounder, about 6 feet. Dominated both left-handers and right-handers. You know, they each hit 171 against him. The only thing, it takes him a while to get the ball to the plate. So base runners last year were 13 for 13 against him. Got him. I mean, he didn't waste any time, did he? 1 out. Dave Hansen coming up. Twice this year has had pinch hit home runs. Remember, way back in Montreal in April, a big home run, only to have the Dodgers turn around and lose the game. And then May the 17th, a huge home run that helped the Dodgers win. Well, Hansen is now asked to bat for Dreifert and perform more magic.
Number 25.
Hansen, as a pinch hitter, is 5 for 11. 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. And Dave with an overall average of 435 as Dreifert buttons up, falls it a 9. Little slider for a strike. 0-1. Hansen 1 for 3 against Scott Williamson. Bottom of the 8th, 2-2. Bichette, Casey, and Taubensee due up in the 9th. With a right-hander on the mound, Davey Johnson going to the bench. Hansen hitting for Dreifert. Hollinsworth will hit for Santangelo. Two balls thrown, 1 for a ball, 1 for a strike. That's on the corner. 1-2. I tell you, the Cubs are still kicking themselves for letting Hansen get away. He was with the Dodgers, went to Chicago. They didn't pick up his deal, so he moved on to Japan and then came back. 1-2. 2-2. Hansen's home run against the Cubs came in the 9th inning. Dodgers went on to win the game 8-6. He put them in front when he homered in Montreal, but they lost that game. 2-2. So Dave is still there. Hansen, Hollinsworth, and Grissel. 2-2. Little pop fly. Larkin digging. He's there. So 2 out. And a reminder, this copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Dodgers may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Dodgers.
Number 28. Todd.
So Dreifert is 1 out away from a tie. 2-2, bottom of the 8th. Here's Hollinsworth. Ball 1. always remember a frustrated Scott Williamson in spring training and teammate Deion Sanders watching him get so upset in the clubhouse. It was just a matter of equipment. And Deion Sanders made a sign and hung it in Williamson's locker. And it said, "I am too blessed to be stressed." That's popped up. Let's see. It will be Larkin, the boss of the infield. That's that. So the Dodgers are done in the 8th. And we are heading for the 9th in a 2-2 tie. We have a 2-2 tie, and here's how we got here. Sean Green, a home run in the 1st inning. Eric Karras, a home run in the 2nd inning. Then, after the Reds scratched for a run in the 6th inning, set up on a balk, a base hit by Larkin scored Pokey Reese. Michael Tucker off the bench to tie it up. And so both starting pitchers pitched exceptionally well. You would say that Dreyford had outpitched Nagel to some degree, pitched one more inning. But neither man deserved to lose. They both deserved to win, and they wind up with nothing to do with it. So Todd Hollinsworth, who batted in the leadoff spot, stays in the game in center field. And since Hansen batted for Dreyford, Terry Adams bats 9th.
Right fielder, Dante Bichette.
I would wonder, but of course I'm sure Davey has a perfect explanation. But I was just sitting here looking, wondering why he would hit the hitters the way he hit them. In other words, if Hollinsworth had batted for Dreyford and stayed in the game, and then Hansen bats for Santangelo, Adams would then be in the leadoff spot, and there'd be 8 hitters before you'd come around to him again. But instead, he had Dave come up, hoping, I guess, for the home run. So now Hollinsworth would not have an at-bat for quite a while, where he could have been batting 9th had they switched the hitters. But as I said, I'm sure Davey figured his own way. 0-1. 0-2. Donnie Bichette. Among other things, he has hit Adams pretty well in the past, 4 for 11, so that's a .364 average. Bichette hit back to the box, grounded out, had a broken bat single. Donnie hitting only .224. One and two. A 2-2 tie in the 9th. Bichette, Casey, and Talbensee. The Dodgers have Grusolana, Green, and Sheffield. Hit down the line, slicing as it goes in the corner, foul. The paid attendance tonight, 31,000. That's it. 31,000. And they are seeing a tough one. The Reds trying to cut St. Louis lead to a half a game. The Dodgers trying to cut Arizona's lead to a game and a half. 2-2. Terry Adams with a record of 2-3. An ERA just under 3, and he has saved 2. So Bichette's still there. 2-2. Biggest play of the night, of course, was the attempted bunt by Larkin. Big Casey waiting on deck. And that diving catch by Hundley. Had the bunt worked, Reese would have been at third, and Griffey's fly ball would have cashed him in to break the tie. But Larkin fouled the bunt off. Hundley made the catch, and Reese never could score. 3-2. So down goes Bichette, who had a huge at-bat in the 6th inning with the tying run at third and grounded out weakly. Now he strikes out, opening up the 9th. Bichette and Griffey Jr. They have really been quiet for the Reds, and yet Cincinnati's 1 game behind St. Louis. If Bichette and Griffey Jr. finally wake up, and they certainly figure to do just that, the Reds are going to be awfully tough. So Casey at the bat. He flied to right, he flied to left, and he struck out. Comebacker. Terry has it. Dodgers going to make sure that Adams is all right. Yep, he says to Hundley, I'm all right. So 2 out, top of the 9th. And Eddie Taubensee coming up. The Reds have played 12 one-run decisions, and they've won 10 of the 12. The Dodgers have played 13 one-run decisions, and they are 6-7. Taubensee singled, grounded out, lined out. Remember that diving catch by Kevin Elster, who then got up and threw to first just in case. Kevin didn't see Wally Bell indicate it was a catch. Little ground ball to Grzelcyk. So Cincinnati goes meekly in the top of the 9th inning, and here they come. Grzelcyk, Green, and Sheffield all tied up at 2. Sean Green getting ready, but Mark Grzelcyk will hit ahead of him. And then after Green, Gary Sheffield. And Scott Williamson ready to pitch his 2nd inning. Well, let's look at the pad. Grzelcyk 0 for 1 against Williamson. Green has never faced him. And Sheffield 0 for 2. Mark Grzelcyk flied to right, grounded to first, and singled to center on what looked like a high change that Nagel gave him in the 6th inning. Boy, Denny was a different pitcher than the one we saw in April. In April, he walked 5. Tonight, in 7 innings, he walked 1. So here we are in the bottom of the 9th, all even 2-2. Scott Williamson in relief of Nagel, working his 2nd inning. Ball 1. Aaron Boone guarding the line at third. The last thing the Reds want now is an extra base hit. A spread eagle stance for Aaron Boone. Ball 2. So Grzelcyk trying to get on any way he can with the big guys back of him. Green, Sheffield, and Karras. In there, 2-1. And looking at Williamson's work, he had 53 strikeouts and 26 walks, so a little better, a hair better than 2-1. That fouled up, struck him on the side of the face, but he's okay. Two and 2 to Mark. I think Eddie Taubensee said something to him to make him smile. Sean Green waiting on deck. going to be banged into right field for a base hit. So Grzelcyk does his job, leads off with his second hit of the night. And now Green, Sheffield, and Karras coming up.
Right fielder, Sean.
Dodgers have 5 hits in the game. Shawn Green has 2 of them. A first-inning home run. Then he struck out in the 3rd inning and singled to right in the 6th. And on deck, the left hook and the right cross. The right cross is Gary Sheffield. Ball 1. Grzelcyk over there at first base is no slouch. He is 4 for 4 in stolen bases. Remember, we told you last year the league ran wild on Williamson, 13 for 13. But of course, with a left-hand hitter, they might want to keep him at first. Ball 2. Green looking for a ball to pull with Casey on the bag. The right side is open. But the thing about Shawn, he has used the whole ballpark ever since he came to the National League. Of course, he has never seen Williamson before. Davy Johnson trying to keep a streak alive. Dodgers have won 5 in a row. Two runs, 6 hits for the Reds. 2 runs, 5 hits for the Dodgers. Nobody out. Bottom of the 9th. Grzelcyk, the winning run. Line to right. Bichette going back to flag it. And Grzelcyk holding. Boy, I tell you, Shawn Green is some tough out. Even when they get him, he hits the ball right on the screws. 1 away.
Outfielder, Gary Sheffield.
Shawn looks exactly the same going into the dugout after the out as he did when he hit the home run. Of course, that's what they say. That's the gift of longevity in this game. No peaks of euphoria over victory. No depths of despair. Even. And that's Green. Strike. 0-1. The Chef flied to right. Lost a hit on a good play by Boone. Lost a hit and suffered the indignity of the double play on the big play by Larkin and Reese. So not only is Gary 0 for 3, he could be 2 for 3. And then he couldn't hold the ball that Reese hit that went off his glove in the 8th inning that could have been a go-ahead run. 0-1 the count. Another strike, and Sheffield can't believe it. Oh, and 2. Sheffield is another fella who's been around a long time. I don't remember the last time I've seen Gary holler at a plate umpire or get into a big discussion. One out. Now that the left-hander is gone, Grzelcyk might try to find an opening. Right-hand hitters, Sheffield and then Karras. He's not going. 1-2 the count. No doubt on an 0-2 count, the Dodgers were afraid of a pitch out. Now Larkin's going to come in to talk to Williamson. Taubensie's going out. Was everybody on the Cincinnati club, and for that matter, everybody with the Dodgers, they know how the league runs on Williamson. See Taubensie, they're all aware of television cameras, so they all try very hard to cover up the mouth so you can't read the lips. Cool Jack, 69 years old, maybe his last year, who knows. But he's come up with another good ball club. One and two. 2-2, bottom of the ninth. Sheffield hitting .318. And again, Grusolonic 3 for 3 in stolen bases. Picked up another one in Florida, so he comes here 4-0. Not going. Whoa, bad ball. So Sheffield is fooled, and down he goes. And with 2 out, the batter will be Eric Karros.
First baseman. Eric.
Sheffield trying to drive one, and Williamson bounced it, and he went after it. So with 2 out, here is Karros, homered in the 2nd inning, popped up in the 4th, flied to center in the 7th. Now they really worry about Grusolonic. 0-1. One other note, in this day and age of baseballs flying out of every stadium, Scott Williamson has allowed 1 home run. On 1 to Karros. Woo, boy, did that thing take off. Nice save by 6'4" Eddie Taubensee to come up out of that crouch. That was heading for the backstop. Whoa, up there. Big play. And actually, Taubensee couldn't feel the ball. He wasn't trying to decoy Grusolonic, but he caught it in the webbing of the mitt. He didn't even know the ball was in there. Now Don Gullett, a wonderful left-hander with Cincinnati and the Yankees, the pitching coach for Jack McKeon, one of the greatest athletes in Kentucky's history. Eric Karros against Williamson is 0 for 6 and has struck out 3 of the 6 at-bats. That's in the past. All eyes on Grusolonic. And he almost threw that away. So Taubensee makes 2 big saves, spearing one and then backhanding another. 2-1 to count. Eddie becoming a fine catcher now. That's going to be hit down the line, foul. So 2-2 to count Eric Karros. Grusolonic, of course, with 2 out, is going on contact. So if that ball had been fair, he'd have been home. 2-2. The deuces are really wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out in a 2-2 tie. Grusolonic bluffs, strike 3. So Williamson strikes out Sheffield and Karros, and the Dodgers waste the leadoff single at the end of 9, a 2-2 tie. If you look in tomorrow's box score, at least as of now, Todd Hundley would be 0 for 2 with a walk, but he has made a couple of wonderful plays tonight. Todd Hundley on the bunt, out to get it, gunned the throw down in time, and then made that diving catch of the bunt by Larkin, and as things turned out, that's really kept the game tied. So Hundley has turned in quite a job behind the plate, and we go to the 10th inning in a 2-2 tie. Aaron Boone, Michael Tucker, and then Pokey Reese against Terry Adams. Ball 1. Boone 1 for 5 against Adams. Fly to center, fly to left, grounded out. Danny Graves down in the bullpen. Fly ball to right field. Green cruising over. One down. Michael Tucker came off the bench cold in the 8th inning against Darren Dreifert. Took that fastball and took it downtown. F.P. Santangelo climbing the wall but couldn't come close. And now Tucker stayed in the game playing left field, and here he is. So 1 out in the 10th. 2-2. We told you how they did in one-run games. Reds have won 10 out of 12. The Dodgers 6 of 13. What about extra innings? Well, Jack McKeon's club is 5-0 in extra innings. The Dodgers are 1-2. So much for history. Ball 2 to Tuck. No swing. When Tucker pinch hit the home run, it gave him 6 home runs and 10 RBIs for the year. 2-0. Graves is joined now by Scott Sullivan. Three and 0 in there. Ground ball backhanded by Karras. He'll win the race. Two down in the 10th inning, and Pokey Reese will be the batter. And if you're not keeping score and you wonder about the Dodgers, Beltry, Hundley, and Elster due up in the bottom of the 10th. Pokey Reese grounded to short, reached on the error by Elster, single to center, was balked to second, and scored on the single by Larkin. Doubled off Sheffield's glove in the 8th inning and stole third, but he was left there. But he's been busy. 2 for 4, and really turned a splendid double play in the 6th inning. Taking a high throw from Larkin, he was able to avoid Green and double up Sheffield. So he's played a solid game, hitting .305. 1-1. Pokey just 1 home run. He's not that kind of a hitter. Larkin on deck. Curveball hit to center. Holly is coming to pick it off. So the Reds go 1-2-3 in the top of the 10th. We're heading for the bottom half. 2-2. As we move to the 10th inning, the Reds make 2 changes. Alex Ochoa goes into left field, and Scott Sullivan will take over on the mound. I would guess that Ochoa would bat in Young's spot. That means Ochoa would be the 3rd hitter if there is an 11th inning, and Sullivan would bat 9th. So Scott Sullivan picking it up after a strong 2 innings from Scott Williamson. Sullivan is 0-2, and his ERA is almost 5. So he's had his problems. And one of his problems, control. 18 strikeouts, but 16 walks. Add to that 22 hits in 25 innings, and he's pitching out of the stretch a lot. Here's Beltry. Ball 1. Beltry is 1 for 5 in the past against Sullivan. 2-0 the count. Sullivan is a workhorse. He's averaged more than 100 innings in each of his first 2 years. Last year he was first man to lead the league in that since Kent Colby did it back in '78 and '79. He throws in the low 90s with that wicked sidearm delivery, and he's added a slider. Pop foul, out of play. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Jeff Shaw loosening up because Adams bats ninth and is due up fourth. Two and two. Beltry is flied to center, popped up, flied to left, 0 for 3. All of those at-bats were against Nagel. Fouled away. So Adrian Beltry hitting .285, facing Scott Sullivan. Foul ball, still 2 and 2. Sullivan continues to be a workhorse. This would be the 44th game for the Reds. And for him, his 23rd. So he's been a little bit more than half the games. And that's the way he's been for 2 years. 2 and 2. Ball 3. Jack McKeon took heat from a former Cincinnati reliever, Rob Dibble. And Rob Dibble was saying that McKeon was wearing out the staff. And certainly didn't wear him out, winning all those games. There's strike 3. So Beltry strikes out, which means the last 3 Dodgers have struck out. Sheffield and Karras by Williamson. And now Sullivan takes care of Beltry. So Todd Hundley is going to come up. The ball just seemed to break and come back.
Catcher, Todd Hundley.
Todd Hundley walked, lined out to third, and struck out. But he has had a solid night behind the plate. Todd hitting .287. And now he gets a chance to hit left-handed. Against Sullivan, Hundley 2 for 3 with a home run. Sullivan has allowed 3 home runs. We're 2-2, bottom of the 10th, 1 out, bases empty. 4-1. The Dodgers have had 1 hit since the 6th inning. That was a leadoff single by Grusolanic in the 9th. 2 runs, 6 hits for the Reds, 2 runs, 5 hits for the Dodgers. Ball 2. Sullivan 6'3" and 210 out of Carrollton, Alabama. Two 2-0 to Todd. On deck, Kevin Elster. And that's a line drive base hit into right center. Bichette over to cut it off. Hundley will hold with a single. So Hundley a base hit and Kevin Elster coming up. So now each side 2 runs, 6 hits.
Elster.
Jose Vizcaíno is coming out on deck to bat for Adams. So Jose getting ready. Kevin Elster flied to right, flied to left against Nagel. Struck out in the 8th against Williamson. Ball 1. Down in the pen, Danny Graves looking on. That's in there, 1-1. That sidearm delivery, and he makes it really move. Right-handers hit .202 against Sullivan last year. Overall opposition hitting .235 against him now. A drive into left center field and deep. That is a way out and off the wall. Here comes Hundley. They're going to stop him at third. It was Larkin, the cutoff man, who would have shot him down. So Kevin Elster doubles off the left center field wall. Had Hundley been sent in, Larkin was all set to pull the trigger. So it was a good call for Glenn Hoffman. Ball first looked like it had a chance to go, then died and short hopped the wall. And the relay from Ochoa to Larkin, and then Barry was ready as he gunned it in to Casey. So Hundley hitting third, and with one out, Hoffman held him up. So the Dodgers now second and third with one out, and you have Vizcaino and then Hollingsworth. Now Don Gullett is going out to talk to Scott Sullivan. So the Reds in trouble. Everybody in on the meeting. If you walk Vizcaino to load the bases, you have Hollingsworth and Grusolanic. Jose Vizcaino is hitting .220. He has 3 runs batted in. Jose is pretty much of a contact hitter. That's what makes him so very tough. He has had about 60 at-bats, and he has only struck out 7 times. So Davey Johnson, remember earlier we were talking about why he hit Hansen 9 and then had Adams spot. Well, as it turned out, with the 3 different hits, Holly's going to be coming up with a chance to win it. If you only knew the future, huh? So Vizcaino will load him up. Elster at second, and the big man is Hundley at third. And McKeon now, the best he can do is gesture to his infield and send Gullett back out there. And they're going to the bullpen. Danny Graves had been throwing down there. And here he comes. So what a spot for Danny Graves. He's called in, 1 out, bottom of the 10th, a 2-2 tie. The bases loaded, and Holly at the plate. We'll be back. Barry Larkin in the interval explaining to Kevin Elster how he hurt his hand against the Dodgers in Cincinnati. Diving in a ball, landing heavily on his gloved hand, and tearing the sheath of the tendon. So he's giving Kevin chapter and verse, so that eases up the tension for both of them. Meanwhile, here's the wonder boy, Danny Graves. In his major league career, Danny Graves has 12 at-bats, and he hit a home run the other day against Mike Maddox of Houston. He has also been a whale of a pitcher, the only man in the major leagues who was born in Vietnam. And he has a record of 6-0 and an earned run average of 2. However, he is also fighting control, 14 strikeouts and 12 walks, so he doesn't have any room for error here as he goes head-to-head with Todd Hollingsworth. Hundley the winning run at third. Elster is at second. Vizcaino at first. The infield is up. Holly popped up as a pinch hitter in the 8th inning. That's a strike. Well, looking at the pass, let's check Hollingsworth and Graves. Holly is 1 for 3. Bases jammed, infield up, outfield shallow. 0-1 to Hollingsworth. 1-1. 31,000 seen at Dandy. Game 1 of the 3 games with the Reds. Osvaldo Fernandez and Eric Gagne tomorrow night. Steve Harris and Chan Ho Park Wednesday night. 1-1. Comebacker. Graves to the plate. To Casey. Double play as easy as 1, 2, 3. Boy, you talk about responding to pressure. What a job turned in by Danny Graves. And we're tied up at 2. The world has certainly heard of Miss Saigon. May we introduce you to Mr. Saigon, and that would be Danny Graves. A comebacker. He went to the plate for 1. Talbinsie went to Casey for 2. Danny Graves is having a remarkable year. He has saved all 7 opportunities. He has a 6-game winning streak, the longest by a Reds pitcher since Pete Harnish won 8 straight last year. He is the first Reds pitcher to begin a year 6-0 since Johnny Ruffin 6 years ago. No Reds pitcher has started 7-0 since Ron Robinson in 1986 or Mike LaCosse in 1979. And as we told you, he hit his first major league home run, an 11th inning solo home run by Mike Maddox. So he is the wonder boy of the Reds, Danny Graves. It was indeed a Graves situation, and he responded to it. Now, Larkin, Griffey, and Ochoa. Jeff Shaw on the mound for the Dodgers. Ball 1. Well, let's see about Jeff Shaw and Larkin. Larkin just 2 for 10. We're in the 11th inning of a 2-2 tie. Ball 2 to Larkin. Popped up. It will be Grossolano. Each team has played a 12-inning game this year. The Reds against the Mets and the Dodgers against Arizona. Junior has struck out and grounded out. Came up with a runner at third. Well, actually, he was at second at the time in the 6th inning and struck out. Came up again with a runner aboard at second and flied to right. So he has been a very big out, and as you can see, he has not shown the Dodgers very much here at Dodger Stadium. A drive to left field. Sheffield is there. They're going to shut him down again. Boy, Junior has just not made a ripple on the Dodgers pond. 2 out. And the batter will be Alex Ochoa.
Left fielder, number 7, Alex Ochoa.
Alex Ochoa, a 28-year-old outfielder who came up with the Mets in '95, then spent 2 years in the American League with Minnesota and Milwaukee. And he was acquired by the Reds for outfielder Mark Sweeney. He has never had a hit in this ballpark, interestingly enough. 0 for 14. Elster with a long throw, and it is too late. So Ochoa was 0 for 14 in his years at Dodger Stadium, and he gets a 2-out infield single. Elster set, but took a long time, really, and Ochoa runs very well. He just legged it out. That's their first hit for the Reds since Reese doubled off Sheffield's glove in the 8th inning. And the batter now, Donnie Bichette. Ochoa 2 for 2 in stolen bases. And Shaw is thinking about that. Bichette really struggling with the bat, hitting .222. Hit back to the box. cracked his bat and blooped a single to left, grounded out with a runner at third in the 6th inning, and struck out in the 9th. Against Jeff Shaw, Donnie Bichette has been very, very successful. He's hitting .389 against Jeff, 7 for 18 with a home run and 6 runs batted in. And you can bet they each know it. Ochoa at first, 2 out. On deck, Sean Casey. Shaw 2-2 with an ERA of over 6, about 6.5. And there goes Ochoa. Missed at the plate, and the throw not in time as he went in with a hand. So Hundley unable to get him as Ochoa is now 3 for 3. And the count 1-1. So a tiebreaker at second. That was the difference, trying to get that left hand, but it was on the corner of the bag. A good accurate throw right there. Just did beat it. No matter how we look at it, he's still safe. So Ochoa in scoring position. They're still selling number ones. Don't forget, tomorrow night, Bucket Hat Night. Sponsored by Pizza Hut. You can get yours free tomorrow night. 1-1 to Bichette. See where the Padres nipped the Mets in what must have been a brilliant duel, 1-0. 1-2. And that's whacked to left. Sheffield going back. He can't get it. Here comes Ochoa to score. Into second goes Bichette, and he continues to wear out Jeff Shaw. Bichette is now 8 for 19 with 7 runs batted in against Shaw. So the infield single, the stolen base, and then the double. Fastball at the knees. Sheffield trying to catch up to it, but it was over his head and 5 feet away. So the Reds, for the first time tonight, thanks to Bichette, 1 RBI in the last 6, but it's a big one. And the batter now is Sean Casey. Ball 1. Casey, unlike Bichette, is 0 for 4. Alex Ochoa outlegged a ground ball to short and then stole second. The old story, speed never has a slump. 1-0 to Casey. Lifting the leg, twisting and turning, and tub out. He's 0 for 4, hitting .231. 1-1. Meanwhile, the Wonder Boy, Danny Graves, could pick up the win. And after all those notes we gave you, could be 7-0. However, he has got to face Grusolanic, Green, and Sheffield in the bottom of the 11th. Great game. Two and 1 to number 21, Sean Casey. And on deck, Eddie Taubman. Well, Casey with 2 leg lifts at this at bat. Fouled away. 2-2 to the big first baseman. Bichette at second, 2 out in the 11th, and the Reds lead 3-2. Grzelcyk will be leading off in the 11th inning. Then comes Green, who has homered and singled in 4 at-bats. Then comes Sheffield, who is 0 for 4. But the top of the 11th is not over yet. 2-2 to Casey. Breaking ball, a slider, got him. And down goes Casey. However, the Reds, on a little speed of Alex Ochoa and the double by Bichette, take a 3-2 lead. Just a reminder, don't miss the National Sports Report tonight at 10 for highlights of all of today's sports action. The Mets and the Padres, the Astros collapse, and Game 2 of the Western Conference Showdown. The National Sports Report tonight at 10 and at midnight. Boy, and talking about the Astros collapse, they blew a 9-2 lead in the bottom of the 9th inning. And the Astros in one-run games are now 0-12. So Larry Dirk's club really struggling. But the Dodgers are struggling in a one-run game. The Reds lead 3-2, bottom of the 11th. Here's Grzelcyk, ball 1. Grzelcyk flied to right, grounded to first, single to center, single to right. He singled to center against Nagel, single to right against Williamson. Graves, who came in and got Hollingsworth to hit into the bases loaded double play to bail out of the inning. Now trying to pick up a win. 2-0. Foul ball, 2-1. Let's study Graves a little bit on the sheet. He has allowed 3 home runs, averaging 1 every 10 innings. Fighting his control, barely more strikeouts than walks. 2-1. And 3-1. So that was a big gamble when you think about it. Jack McKeon bringing him in with the bases loaded where he had to throw strikes. He has not been able to really do that all year. And he's walked Grzelcyk. So Graves walks the tying run. Now Green and Sheffield and maybe Karras.
Right fielder, Shawn Green.
Shawn Green 2 for 6 against Graves in the past. Sheffield 2 for 5 in the past. And then Karras 0 for 3. Chopper up the middle, base hit. Grzelcyk sees Griffey deep and goes to third with nobody out. Shawn Green coming up with his 3rd hit, a base hit to center. Poker faced as always. Green going up the middle. Right on by the glove of Graves. So where he was able to handle the comebacker by Hollingsworth, he couldn't handle a shot by Green. So now the batter is Gary Sheffield. It is up to Graves. No one throwing in the bullpen. They've already used Williamson and Sullivan. So here is Sheffield. 0 for 4, ball 1. And for a guy struggling with his control, we should check. Graves has 1 wild pitch. The Chef flied to right, grounded to third, hit into a double play and struck out. Look out. 2-0. So Mark Grzelcyk at third with nobody out, representing the tying run. Shawn Green represents the winning run. Green, by the way, has stolen 8 out of 9. So they have to watch him as well. And now he's 1 pitch away from walking the house. That's what makes it so amazing that he is 6-0 when he is barely even with White walks and strikeouts. 3-0 to Sheffield. in there. Three and one to count. Graves has not been one to hold runners on very well. Ball four to load him up with nobody out. So Eric Karros with the bases loaded and nobody out. The Dodgers had the bases loaded with one out in the 10th and couldn't do it. So now they have a golden opportunity to take this one back to the clubhouse. Gullett out there to try to talk to Graves. Though it indeed a grave situation, especially for Danny. Karras has homered in the second inning, popped up, fly to center, and struck out. So the Reds got out of it with a double play situation in the 10th inning. Eric Karras has only grounded into 2 double plays. You have Grusolonic at third. He's the tying run. Sean Green at second, the winner, and Gary Sheffield. The corners are up, but they're back in double play depth around the bag. Ball one. So the way they're set, okay, if they have to, they'll give up the tying run, but they want to break the back of the rally. On deck, Adrian Beltre. Fly ball to center. That's plenty deep. Junior is there, but he'd have to have a cannon. And here comes the tying run. So Eric Karras picks up the RBI to score Grusolonic. One out. Runners at first and second. 3-3 in the 11th. Dodgers scrambling back. For Karras, 2 RBIs tonight to give him 38 for the year. And now Adrian Beltre. Beltre flied to center and popped up, flied to left and struck out. 0 for 4. Against Danny Graves, Beltre 0 for 3. Ball one. 2 walks, a single, and a scoring fly ball. And now Sean Green could be the winning run. 1 out. Whoa, almost threw that away. Another nice save by Eddie Talbinby. 2-0. Adrian hitting .283. Foul ball down the line. 2-1. Been a wonderful game. Green homered in the first. Karras homered in the second. Reds got a run in the 6th to make it 2-1. Tucker came off the bench. A pinch hit home run in the 8th to tie it up. Reds got a go-ahead run in the 11th. Dodgers have come right back to tie it in the 11th. Ground ball hard to Boone. Down to second. On to first. Too late. So Beltre with an extra burst of speed. And down at second base, trying to break up the double play, and Gary Sheffield is hurt. And Sheffield obviously in pain. Now he's had the left ankle twice. And he is hurting. So Beltre hits into the force play, but Sheffield is down. And he is down enough so that the Reds have left the field. And let's see if he's all right. I thought Beltre beat the throw to first. And Now we get a double check if we can see it while they're watching Sheffield. There's the out there, and Sheffield is going out to get him. Here comes the throw to first. Beltry beats the throw. However, you see that safe. However, now we see that the umpire at second called Sheffield out for running out of the baselines, meaning interference, and so it's going to go as a double play. And the big story is Sheffield still down on the ground. And at the end of 11, a 3-3 tie. We're not going to guess at the extent of the injury, but as you can see, Sheffield has to be helped off the field. We were confused, I think a lot of people were, because Beltry beat the throw to first. The first base umpire indicated safe. However, if you watch the play here now, Sheffield's going to go to the bag. He's not out of the baselines. He hits the corner of the bag and then rolls into the runner. It didn't appear like he was out of the baselines. However, it was a safe call at first, only then to find out, with Sheffield in a crumpled heap, that the second base umpire, Wally Bell, had indicated that Sheffield, with his slide, had interfered with the throw to first. So the double play, and it's 3-3 in the 12th inning. Geronimo Baroa is now in left field for the injured Gary Sheffield. And here's Eddie Talbinzi. Ball one. Naturally, as soon as we get a report on Sheffield's leg injury or ankle injury, we'll pass it along. We're not going to guess. Foul back. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. 3-3 in the 12th. Eddie Talbinzi 1 for 1 in the past against Shaw. Ball 2. One ball, 1 strike. And that's going to be hit over Kara's head for a base hit. Green over to get it. Talbinzi will hold with a single. So for the Reds, that's the first time they have gotten a leadoff man aboard since Tucker led off with a home run in the 8th inning. And the batter is Aaron Boone. Gary Sheffield again, even though you could see on the replay that Sheffield's left foot hit the bag, was called out for interference. Adrian Beltry thinking about a bunt. Boone, remember, waiting at the plate. And Boone, as far as bunts are concerned, he sacrificed once this year. Now Hundley wants to hold a little meeting. Elmer Descends loosening up down in the bullpen. A right-hander getting ready here in the 12th. Three runs, 9 hits for the Reds. 3 runs, 8 hits, and an error for the Dodgers. Been a great game. Boone showing bunt. Beltry coming in. Foul bunt. 0-1. Aaron Boone is hitting .289. He has 8 home runs, 23 RBIs. So it's a little bit of a surprise to see him bunting. 0-1. Talbinzi at first with a short lead, nobody out. And he's showing bunt again. You know when your team is really going good, when things really are going in your way, when you ask a hitter to bunt, he fouls off a couple, so then you say, okay, swing away, and he gets a base hit. Then you know you are really flying high. So let's see now that Boone hasn't come close to getting the bunt down. Barry Larkin tried to bunt in the 8th inning and fouled out. That was a huge play on a great catch by Todd Hundley. All right, Boone's not showing bunt now. Got it on the inside corner. So a wasted at bat for Aaron Boone. A strikeout for Jeff Shaw. Now Hal Morris is coming up. Good pitch down the middle, and Boone knew it. He was just fooled. So Danny Graves will give way for Hal Morris. Now Morris is a good hitter, has always been a line drive type hitter. So if the bunt had gotten down and Taubman was at second, Morris would really be a threat. He is not the kind of a guy who's normally going to come up and hit a home run. For that matter, he has not done much, but as a pinch hitter, he's been okay.
Your attention, please.
5 hits, including his only home run, in 15 at-bats. So hitting .333 as a pinch hitter. Morris doesn't play much anymore with the arrival of Sean Casey, but he's always a tough out. Ball 1. Morris against Shaw, 2 for 7. That would be a .286 average. Hal usually runs up in the batter's box. It's almost as if he's hitting a ball on the bounce. He moves around a lot. His lifetime batting average over in the American League when he played with the Yankees, 300. His lifetime in the National League, all the years with Cincinnati from 1990 through 97 and then back in 99. Lifetime batting average 306. So he can swing it. He's 35 years old. 2-0. Little nubber. Shaw will pick it up and throw in time to get him. So Taubman is at second with 2 out, and here comes Pokey Reese.
Second baseman, Pokey Reese.
One thing about Morris on that play, he made it a little tough, and I didn't see the umpires objecting. But Hal Morris was running inside the line. He wasn't close to the lane. Watch him. He's going to almost collide, and then you see he's staying inside. So they could have called him out. 2 down. And Pokey Reese coming up. Reese and Shaw. Reese 1 for 2. Tonight, Pokey is 2 for 5. Ball 1. On deck, Barry Larkin. Baroa, Hollingsworth, and Green. Now, Taubman would be a tough man to score. A big catcher out there at second base. He would really be tough to score if the ball happens to go to Green. On the corner. Pokey can't believe it. 1-1. Reese batting .304. A single, a double, a stolen base, and 1 run scored. Ball 2. So Jeff Shaw pitching his second inning. We're in the 12th of a 3-3 tie. Two balls, 1 strike. Ball 3. So Larkin, who drove in a run way back in the 6th inning, is on deck. Larkin has never had much success against Shaw. 2 for 10. 3-1 to Reese. So a full count to Pokey. Calvin Z at second with 2 out. 3-3 in the 12th. Big pitch. So Reese is aboard for the 3rd time. And now Barry Larkin coming up. So Larkin and Shaw, teammates for years, now go head-to-head with the game on the line, perhaps. Larkin has grounded out and flied out, singled in a run, fouled out on that big bunt to play, and popped up. So Larkin 1 for 5. And Hundley talking to Shaw. How they pitched him, what they've done to get him up to here. Two on, 2 out, 12th inning, 3-3. In the bottom of the inning, Hundley, Elster, and then Shaw. Ball 1. The Dodgers are in a tough way to go, in the sense that in the bottom of the inning, after Hundley and Elster, the only man left is Chad Kreuter, and you usually hold on to your backup catcher. And that's ball 2. So Shaw now has to come in. Talbot taking about as big a lead as he can. Elster isn't anywhere close to him. He has to keep an eye on Bressolani. 2-0 to Barry Larkin, hitting .344. Strike, little slider down at the knees on the outside corner. 2-1. Eric Gagne thinking about tomorrow while concentrating on tonight. He'll go up against Osvaldo Fernandez tomorrow evening. Throw that curveball. Time. 2 balls and 1 strike to Barry Larkin. 2 out in the 12th. Calvin Z, the big man, and over at first, Pokey Reese. Three runs, 9 hits for the Reds. 3 runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers. 2-1 to Larkin. Ball 3. Barry Larkin has walked 3 times as much as he has struck out. Jeff Shaw has 4 times as many strikeouts as walks. Interesting combination. Griffey Jr. on deck. One hopper, no. Speared by Bressolani. So the line drive out. And the Reds lead 2. And at the end of 11 and a half, a 3-3 tie. The 12th, Elmer descends coming in out of the Cincinnati bullpen. Elmer's from Hermosillo in Mexico. 28 years old. He was originally signed by the Pirates and then signed as a free agent last December. He was with Pittsburgh briefly in '96, briefly in '97. Then he stayed with them in '98, and he was 2-6, and they let him go. So Elmer descends. Will be the 5th pitcher. Nagel, Williamson, Sullivan, Graves, and descends. Sullivan and Graves were certainly living dangerously. The Dodgers had the bases loaded with 1 out in the 10th and failed to score. They had the bases loaded with nobody out in the 11th and managed to get 1. So it's 3-3 in the 12th. Todd Hundley, who has had a big night, made a couple of wonderful plays defensively. He has also walked and singled. So Todd will start it off against Descends. Hundley hitting .294. 3-3 in the 12th inning. Dropped that curveball in there. Though we mentioned that the Reds had a 12-inning game against the Mets, the Dodgers had a 12-inning game against Arizona, and now both of them are locked up, you guessed it, in the 12th. Time. Oh, and 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Descends has not been used very much. This would only be his 9th game, and he's worked 12 innings. No record, but he's been in a mess. 12 innings, 19 hits. An ERA of almost 7. One and 1. Fouled away, 1-2. Still no report on Gary Sheffield, and that is an important news. Gary not only called out trying to break up a double play, called out for interference, even though we saw on the videotape that Gary's foot went right at the bag. And then he had to be carried off the field doing something to his leg or ankle. We're not sure. As soon as we get any kind of a report, you'll have it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2-2. Hundley and Elster, and then Jeff Shaw. Fouled away. The only extra man for the Dodgers is Chad Kreuter. The report on Gary Sheffield, a sprained right ankle, is still being evaluated, as you see Carlos Perez, who might be coming up as a pinch hitter. You don't like to use your backup catcher. Ground ball, tricky hopper to Larkin. Well, that takes care of Hundley, 1 away. Now Kevin Elster.
Shortstop, Kevin Elster.
Kevin Elster flied to right, flied to left, struck out and doubled, and Carlos Perez coming out on deck. If you're wondering, Carlos Perez has 1 hit in 16 at-bats. The 1 hit, a double. But the Dodgers are reduced now to using a pitcher to pinch hit for a pitcher. Right, 0-1. Dodgers used Hansen, Vizcaino, Hollinsworth, and Baroa. So only Kreuter is left. 1 ball, 1 strike. Elster hitting .237. Elster a long double in the 10th inning. Dave Hansen, as a pinch hitter, had popped up. Jose Vizcaino was walked intentionally. Fouled away. Todd Hollinsworth came into play and popped up, and then had a big at-bat in the 10th inning when he hit a comeback to Graves, and they got a 1-2-3 double play. So Jeff Shaw, with his head down, will be gone out for a hitter. Matt Hergis was throwing in the Dodger bullpen. One and 2. So you start looking for that big overhand breaking ball. So he had to come up and in to kind of keep Elster from diving over across the plate. 2-2 to Kevin. Fastball fouled away. So a breaking ball for a strike, then the fastball up and in. Then if you're thinking about the breaking ball, he comes right back with a fastball for a strike, and Elster just quick enough to foul it back. And the guessing game continues. 2-2. Fastball inside. Elster has 18 hits, and 10 of the 18 are for extra bases. So when he picked up a base hit tonight, chances are it's going to be an extra base, and it was his 4th double. 4 doubles and 6 home runs. 3-2. Got him. Pretty good sinking fastball as Elster walks away, striking out a second time. So now Carlos Perez coming up to bat. The action on that thing is it sunk.
Your attention, please, for the Dodgers.
As usual, he turned and asked Dan Iasonia, did I swing at a strike? And he got the answer yes.
Carlos Perez.
Carlos Perez batting for Jeff Shaw. However, you notice 4 home runs in his career. And for Davy Johnson, he had no alternative. He couldn't possibly use Kruder. If anything happened to Todd Hundley, he's really in trouble. 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to Perez. 0-2. Carlos with 4 home runs in his career. He had 3 of them with Montreal and then 1 last year for the Dodgers. Ball 1. His home run last year was hit in Colorado. 1-2. Got him. So time for desperate measures, and all they could do is send up Carlos. Down he goes. Descend strikes out 2, and here they come. Griffey, Ochoa, and Bichette. We're going to the 13th inning in a 3-3 tie, and Matt Herges coming out of the Dodger bullpen to pick up. Matt has been in 16 games this year. He has a record of 2-0. And Herges will be facing Ken Griffey Jr. And we'll show you what Griffey has done tonight, starting in the 1st inning. With Dreifert pitching, Griffey going after a bad ball to strike out. In the 4th inning, he just hit a ground ball to Eric Karros, who flipped to Dreifert for the out. In the 6th inning, maybe pressing, chasing a bad ball to strike out again. In the 8th inning, going after a pitch at the knees, but just hitting it off the end of the bat, and Green catches up to it. In the 11th inning, hitting just a lazy fly ball to left that Sheffield ran down. But every at-bat is so dangerous when you're talking about Junior, and here he is. 0 for 5 tonight. And the Dodgers have shut him down so far. Hitting .231 with only 3 hits in 26 at-bats against the Dodgers. 1 ball, no strikes. Right. So Matt Herges given quite a responsibility here. Griffey, Ochoa, and Bichette, and if anybody gets on, maybe Casey. As you can see, Matt, about 3-1 strikeouts to walks. Little ground ball. That looked like it might have been off the plate. Just did get him. So whatever it is, the Dodgers have completely tied up Junior. He is 3 for 27 against the Dodgers. It's as if it's some other player, not the great player we've heard so much about coming over from the American League. One of those things, the mystery of this great game. Now Alex Ochoa, who made his speed pay off. He hit a roller to shortstop and beat the throw, stole second, and scored on Donnie Bichette's double. Ball one. High chopper to Elster. So Hergis takes care of Griffey and Ochoa. And the batter is Donnie Bichette.
Right fielder, Dante.
Bichette wasn't doing very much. He had hit back to the box. He had cracked his bat and had a bloop single. Grounded out with a runner at third in the 6th inning. Struck out in the 9th. But then in the 11th, Ochoa had the infield single and stole second, and Bichette doubled him in. That gave the Reds a lead, only to have the Dodgers bounce back and tie it up again. We're 3-3 in the 13th with 2 out. That's going to be fisted to Grassolani. So a nice inning for Matt Hergis. 1, 2, 3. And we're heading to the bottom of the 13th in a 3-3 tie. .3-3 bottom of the 3rd inning, and Sean Green is getting a crash course from Todd Hundley. Hundley faced DeSands, remember, in the 12th inning and grounded out. So any little bit helps. Hollinsworth, Grassolani, and then Green against Elmer DeSands. Hollinsworth popped up batting for Santangelo in the 8th inning, then came up in the 10th inning against Danny Graves, hit it back to the box, and the Reds got a double play and got out of the jam. Ball one. Hollinsworth 0 for 1 against DeSands. No one has seen much of him. Eric Karras is 2 for 2 against him. 2-0 the count. A magnificent pitching duel between Denny Nagel and Darren Piper. They were both magnificent. One out, locked up at 2. And then Adams, Shaw, and Hergis. Williamson, Sullivan, Graves, and DeSands. Chopper foul, 2-1. Shaw gave up a run. And in the 11th inning, the Dodgers got a run against Graves. Kevin Brown with his own version of a rally cap, I guess, and Chan Ho Park's going the same way. All to Junior. One out in the 13th, and Mark Grassolani coming up. Grassolani flied to right, grounded to first, single to center, single to right, walked, and scored the tying run in the 11th inning. So he's been busy. To repeat, Gary Sheffield suffered a sprained right ankle and is still being evaluated. That's all we know. So for the 3rd time since the season started, for the 3rd time in 42 games, Gary Sheffield has an ankle injury. Turned it going after a fly ball in New York, stepped on a ball under the tarp by the batting cage here, and then sprains the ankle sliding into second base. Here was the play. Aaron Boone throwing to second. See, Sheffield is right at the bag, but he was called out for interference, even though Beltry had beaten the throw to first. It was ruled a double play, and then they had to carry Gary off the field. 0-2 to Grusolani. Protecting the plate. That's what that swing was. Outside part of the plate with 2 strikes. He couldn't afford to take it. So it's still 0-2. On deck, Shawn Green. After Green comes Geronimo Baroa. And you wonder just, will they pitch to Green at all? Another hack at a pitch that was borderline. Still 0-2. Well, now F.P. Santangelo has his version of a rally cap. Now Kevin Brown has joined the club. 0-2. One ball and 2 strikes to Mark Grusolani, hitting .279. So he's been working him down and away, once up and away. So he decided to come inside, and all the while Green making his own mental notes. Hail, hell, the gang's all here. She's up a little late. 2-2. And that's going to be hit into right field. So Grusolani has 3 hits and a walk, and he's going to go to second when the ball is bobbled by Bichette, and he is in there. Well, now you get the feeling they will certainly not pitch to Shawn Green. So Bichette will draw an error on the base hit by Grusolani. Bichette seemed to be pretty casual under the circumstances. So that could be a huge play. And Mark is in there. So now, as we mentioned, they would not have pitched to Green, I don't think, if Grusolani had made out. And they're certainly not going to pitch to him now with a runner at second. So it will be up to Geronimo Baroa, who will be up in a moment, finishing up for Gary Sheffield in left field. So whether the error is a blessing or a curse remains to be seen. Maybe a blessing because they didn't have to pitch to Green. Maybe a curse for the Reds if the Dodgers can cash it in. And the Chief will be coming up, Geronimo Baroa. Geronimo Baroa is hitting .318. This will be his first at bat, and Don Gullett is going out to talk to Elmer DeSands. So the Dodgers turn their own caps around. Now they're going to try and pull Cincinnati's caps right down over their ears. Don't forget tomorrow night, Game 2, Osvaldo Fernandez and Derek Gagne. Then Wednesday night, Steve Paris and Chan Ho Park. Should be a great series. This has been a wonderful game. If you can, hope you'll be out here with us. And a reminder, tomorrow night, all the fans in attendance will get a free bucket hat. So Baroa with a chance to win it. 2 on, 1 out, 13th inning, 3-3. Eric Karros on deck. Strike. Took the fastball 0-1. The only time that the Dodgers have failed to get a man aboard was in the 12th. Starting with the 9th inning, they've had people everywhere, but they've only scored 1. Now they have a chance to win it. Oh, 2 to Baroa. Eric Karros, who is the only Dodger to have seen DeSands at all. Eric is 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs against him. And Eric tonight has the home run and the scoring fly ball. 0-2 to Geronimo. Nice save by Taubensee. 1-2. This is the 7th meeting of the year between the two clubs. The Dodgers, by sweeping the 3 in Cincinnati, have an edge 4-2. The last time the Reds were here, they won 2 out of 3. So Grzelcyk, the winning run at second. Sean Green is at first. 1 out. 1-2 to Geronimo Baroa. 2-2. Nagel, Williamson, Sullivan, Graves, descends. Two on, 1 out. 2-2 to the Chief. High fastball got him. So Baroa strikes out. And now here comes Karras. See where that pitch is. Right around the letters, but it really tied him up. So Baroa strikes out. And now Karras. And I'm sure Eric remembers his 2 at-bats and his 2 hits against Descends. And I'm sure Elmer remembers Eric. Karras homered and popped up. Fly to center struck out. Had the scoring fly ball in the 11th inning that tied up the game again. And that was followed by the double play where Sheffield was injured and had to leave, hurting his right ankle. Foul ball. That should go out of play. Casey's coming over to take a look, but no chance. 31,000 came out tonight. If you can, you should be here with us tomorrow night. Fernandez and Gagne. Oh, 0-1 to Karras. Descends trying to get out of the inning. Casey, Taubensee, and Aaron Boone are due up if indeed there is a 14th inning. Grzelcyk is hoping to end it here. 0-1. One and one. Who is that masked man? First you turn your hat around, then you turn it sideways, then you just don't want to look. The life of those who only sit and wait. Whoa, that goes to the backstop. So Descends throws one away. That would be his second wild pitch. Taubensee all night has been in the dirt, making one good save after another, and that time he couldn't do it. Now that might be a break. Maybe they don't want to pitch to Karras since he's had success in the past. Just like the error by Bichette prevented the Dodgers from having Sean Green swing the bat. So let's see. They will pitch to Karras. Adrian Beltre on deck. Beltre has never faced Descends. Off the plate. 3-1. And again, Taubensee looks over as if to say, you want to pitch to him or not? And it might be one of those don't give him a strike. We'll see. 3-1. Second and third, 2 out in the 13th, a 3-3 tie. Fouled away, 3-2. Well, it's been this kind of a game. I guess we figured it would go down to a pitch. 3-2. Beltre on deck is 0 for 5 and has never faced Descends. So Karras with a chance to drive in his third run of the night and win it right here. We're in the 13th. It has taken us 4 hours and about 7 minutes. And it has been a wonderful evening. Grzelcyk at third. 90 feet away from sending us all home. Fouled away. Another breaking ball. So the duel continues. The boy from Hermosillo, Elmer descends. And Eric Karras. Grzelcyk, who's had a big night, 3 singles and a walk, is at third. Green is at second. 2 out. 3-2 to Karras, and the crowd on its feet. Did he? No, he didn't. And the bases are loaded. So Karras loads him up. Yesterday, Adrian Beltre came up in a 1-1 tie in Florida with the bases loaded and took Jesus Sanchez to St. Petersburg. A grand slam home run over the scoreboard. The first of his young career. Now Beltre is up there with the bases loaded, 2 out in the 13th, and descends, has to throw a strike. Fly ball. It is playable and catchable, and Bichette does just that. So the Dodgers have had the bases loaded in the 10th, the 11th, and the 13th, and they've produced 1 run. They have labored and brought forth a mouse. Looking back over the inning, the error by Donnie Bichette prevented the Dodgers' top hitter, Shawn Green, from getting a chance to swing the bat. And because of that, they were able to walk Karras and get away with it when Beltre flied out with the bases loaded. So the Dodgers had the bases loaded in the 10th, failed to score. Bases loaded in the 11th and got 1. And bases loaded in the 13th and came up empty. So into the 14th we go. Sean Casey, Eddie Taubensee, and Aaron Boone against Matt Herges. Right. Sean Casey flied to right, flied to left, struck out twice, hit back to the box. So it's been a long night for him. A big 0 for 5. Right. 0-2 to Sean. Casey hitting .229. Had his problems with a broken thumb, then the flu, or whatever. And down he goes. So Casey strikes out a 3rd time as Matt Herges just threw it right by him. So the batter now is Eddie Taubensee, who singled, grounded out, lined out, grounded out again, and singled. He is 2 for 5. Ken Griffey Jr. is 0 for 6. That's the biggest 0 for of the night for the Reds. Adrian Beltre is 0 for 6 for the Dodgers. And the leadoff spot for the Dodgers, Santangelo was 0 for 3, and Hollingsworth is 0 for 3. So the leadoff spot is 0 for 6. That's a long night no matter how you cut it. 0-1 to Taubensee. Eddie with 4 home runs, 13 runs batted in. Two and 1. In the bottom of the inning, the Dodgers have Hundley, Elster, and Herges. Remember, they've already used Perez as a pinch hitter. They might even use somebody like Hershey. Ground ball to Grzelcyk. As you can see, sitting quiet in the middle, thumb to his mouth. Bob Daly to his right. Kevin Malone hanging right to the bitter end. Aaron Boone 0 for 5. 3 fly balls, grounded out. Came up in the 12th inning with Taubensee at first. Tried to bunt. That's through into left field. So Boone, a 2-out single. And Elmer descends, the pitcher, will be coming up. Over there in the dugout, they have Chris Steins, Benito Santiago, and Juan Castro. They're not going to use Santiago so that they don't have a backup catcher. So they've opted to stay with Descends.
Pitcher, Elmer Descends.
Three, top of the 14th. I'm looking at Elmer. He's had 2 at-bats. And he's 0 for 2. Runner going, and the throw, he has stolen it. So Boone now 3 for 3. Let's see if that changes things. Yep, it is. In other words, McKeon saying, I'm going to gamble. If Boone is thrown out, Descends stays in the game. If Boone steals it, then I will go for Chris Steins. And that's what they're going to do. Descends is called away. There was no one throwing in the bullpen, so whoever's going to come in had better get with it because there's 2 out. And down in the bullpen is Manny Ibar, and he has to hurry up. I mean, he's just now started to throw. So Descends comes out, and Chris Steins will come up and bat for him. Chris Steins hitting .400. He hadn't played much, but he is 4 for 12 with a couple of RBIs coming off the bench. So Hundley out to the mound, and they are going to pitch to Steins. They'll take their chances with him rather than put him on and look at Pokey Reese. Chris Steins out of Queens, New York. 27 years old. Came from Kansas City. Drafted by the Blue Jays. Came up with Kansas City, and he spent 2.5 years with Cincinnati. Steins has hit very well in this ballpark, too. Little nubber. Hundley should get him, and does. So Todd Hundley, who is going to lead off in the 14th, makes a good play, and it's still 3-3. Well, we're going to the bottom of the 14th inning, and the crowd taking their second 7th inning stretch. Nancy B. Heffley playing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. What crowd is left remains highly enthusiastic, although it is now just about 11:30. They came to see a ball game, and you know they've seen a whale of a game. They've seen a game and a half. Interesting thought when you think about it. Chris Steins, after that quick maneuver where Manny Ibar had not thrown a pitch, and then Steins came up and swung at the first pitch. So Ibar maybe made, well, I don't know, 2 or 3 pitches in the bullpen. He's allowed 8 pitches to get ready on the mound. And Jack McKeon hopes he is ready. Nagel, Williamson, Sullivan, Graves, Descends, and Ibar. So they pretty much used them all. The only people left, starting pitcher Ron Ballone and Rob Bell. Steve Parris is going to pitch Wednesday night. And left-hander Dennis Reyes, who does not pitch much at all. Hundley has made several good plays tonight, and this one quickly on the ball, and then the accurate throw to Karras, plenty of time to get Steins. Now we will see whether Steins swinging at the first pitch means anything at all. In other words, will Ibar be ready? Manny in 18 games with Cincinnati. 26 innings, 25 hits. Plus, he's another one fighting control. And Hundley at the plate. Ball 1. Hundley is 0 for 7 against Ibar. Manny Ibar once was considered to be a starting pitcher when he came up to the St. Louis Cardinals. They thought he was going to be a good one. Finally he went to long relief, middle relief, and was finally sent away. Ball 2. Because he fights his control, he was also vulnerable to home run. Gave up 13 home runs last year. 9 to right-hand batters. 2-0 the count to Hundley. Well, he's behind 3-0. Fastball and a hard slider. Left-handers last year hit over 300 against him. 3-0 to Hundley. In there. You would figure that they would green light Hundley because he has power. Then you have Elster, and then you have somebody, maybe another pitcher or Hurges. So Hundley has a chance to send everybody home. So I would guess if this pitch is anywhere where he can drive it, he'll be swinging. He has 11 home runs. No, outside, ball 4. Well, if nothing else, I guess if you're Manny Ibar, you say, well, I had 5 more pitches to warm up. And here's Elster.
Next up, Kevin Elster.
Matt Hurges is coming out on deck. Matt Hurges has 2 at-bats this year, and he has struck out twice. It's a game that saw Carlos Perez bat for Jeff Shaw and strike out in the 12th. So both managers have almost tapped out. Chad Kruder is left. Juan Castro and Benito Santiago left for McKeon. There's the bunt. Casey will make the tag. So Elster does his job. They're not expecting magic from Hurges, so let's see. Chad Kruder is going to come up and bat. Now they're going to pitch to Kruder or put him on because the winning run's at second. So Kruder is the last Dodger position player, as always, a catcher, backup. A switch hitter with Hollinsworth on deck. So either way, the Dodgers like their chances. If they pitch to Kruder, he could win it. If he doesn't, they still have Hollinsworth. And if they get by them, then Gristle on it. Jim Tracy now looking for Kruder to send him up there, but first he sent Hurges up there because they do have one left-hander and a couple of right-handers down in the pen. Actually, one right-hander. Forget Paris. I would think he's going to pitch Wednesday. So both managers pretty strapped, and here's the last playing card for Davy Johnson. Chad Kruder hitting .279 and hitting .300 as a left-handed batter. His one home run was hit right-handed. Checking to see, has he ever faced Ibar? And the answer is he's 0 for 2. And that got through the legs of Talbinzi. And again, the Dodgers have the winning run 90 feet away. I think Eddie should have blocked that one. There have been 2 wild pitches charged to Ibar anyway. And part of it could be fatigue. I mean, when you're battling all night long behind the plate, he tried to, first he thought I'll backhand it, then he turned the glove, but he didn't get down. And this late in the game, I would say that's fatigue. So now that changes everything. And Jack McKeon, an old catcher himself, understands what's happened. The infield is up, the outfield is shallow, and all the Dodgers now need is a fly ball to win it. 1-1. Strike. 1-2 to Kruder. So a walk, a sacrifice, a wild pitch, which is a killer. Dodgers failed to cash in the wild pitch in the 13th inning. They're really inventing. Now they've gone to helmets. Rally helmets. 2-2. Bottom of the 14th, and Hundley the winning run at third. Foul ball down the line, out of play. So the battle continues. Dodgers have used all the position players. Two balls and two strikes. And Hundley at third. Infield up, one out. Big pitch now, 2-2. Line drive down the line, foul. The Kruder thought for one brief shining moment it was Camelot. He whacked it. And then he finds out no. All right, back up there hacking, 2-2. Crowd on its feet again. Hundley, who had singled earlier, now walks in the 14th and gets all the way around to third. That's a Hergis cap. Foul back. So the battle continues. Kruder head to head with Ibar. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fouled away. In looking at Kruder's numbers, and he certainly doesn't play very much, as you know. He's had about 57, maybe 60 plate appearances, and he has struck out 5 times. All right, there's something else to do with the rally helmet. Bang them together. Fouled away. So Chad, pretty much of a contact hitter, just keeps fouling them off. Ibar has walked 12 and struck out 14, so you know he's fighting his control. And he got into this mess by walking Hundley. This is Ibar's 10th pitch to Chad Kruder. Ball 3. On deck, Todd Hollinsworth. Remember, 1 out. So Holly hit into that big double play in the 10th inning, hoping for another chance. 3-2 to Kruder. go back. So it's going to be 11 pitches in this duel, and Chad keeps fouling them off. Watch the Dodger bench. Oh, foul ball. That was that line drive down the line. So the pride of Pepperdine, Chad Kreuter, trying to win it here. And Hundley's still waiting for a ride home. Three and two. Ball four. So Kreuter, quite an at-bat, battled his way aboard. And now Todd Hollingsworth. He batted for Santangelo in the 8th inning and popped to short. Stayed in the game in center, came up with 1 out and the bases loaded in the 10th inning. Danny Graves was pitching, and he hit a hopper back to Graves, and they got the double play by way of the plate. Then he led off the 13th inning and flied to center. So Holly is 0 for 3 on the night, hitting .257. So now Hollingsworth has a chance to win it. And the old story, anytime you come up to hit and the infield is up, that makes you a much tougher hitter. And Taubensee reminding everybody, only 1 out. On deck is the fellow who has given the Reds a tough time tonight, Mark Grusolanic, with 3 singles and a walk. Ibar wanted to make sure that Larkin had explained to everyone how the infield was going to set up and what they would do if for some reason Kreuter even started to go. Also now in this spot, they don't want Casey on the bag. So Casey is wide of the bag. That means Kreuter could run if he wanted to. Half swing for a strike. 0-1. Dodgers getting a mess of people on from the 9th inning, with the exception of the 12th. In the 12th inning, the Dodgers were retired in order, but otherwise, it's been standing room only. 3-3, bottom of the 14th. And did he get it? No, it got away, but Hundley wasn't sure and stayed at third. We've had so many foul balls at Kreuter's at bat that there was that moment of indecision, but Kreuter moved on down to second as the pitch in the dirt squirted between the legs of Taubensee, but Hundley held. So now we're waiting on the scoring, whether it's going to be another wild pitch or a pass ball. Meanwhile, Taubensee is looking over to Jack McKeon. 0-2 the count to Todd Hollingsworth with runners at second and third, and now they're going to put him on. So they're going to go after Grusolanic, even though there were 2 strikes and no balls on Hollingsworth. So that puts a lot of pressure on Ibar. Remember, only 1 out. So again, the Dodgers load the bases. They loaded them in the 10th, loaded them in the 11th, loaded them in the 13th, and they've loaded them again in the 14th. And with all those bases loaded situations, the Dodgers have managed to score once. So they have given yet another opportunity. The 4th time in extra innings that they've loaded the bases. And here's Grusolanic, who's had a big night. He had flied to right and grounded to first, and then got hot. Single to center against Nagel in the 6th inning. Single to right in the 9th against Williamson. Walk in the 11th. And then single to right in the 13th. He has scored once and was left at third in the 13th. So a big night for Mark Grusolonic, and now he has a chance to win it. The infield is in, the outfield is shallow, 1 out. Ground ball to short. Larkin to Taubensee, and he missed the plate. He walked off the plate and never tagged him. Eddie Taubensee blew the play. They're going to argue, but they don't have a chance to see the tape. Eddie missed it. He missed it. He really did. It was a good call by Dan Iasona. And we will show you the tape. He absolutely missed what he did. Look, he's off the plate there. He's going to tag him, and his left foot, I don't think, ever touched the plate. It looked like it was just shy of the inner edge. And what a bizarre way to end the game. Let's see again. He's off the plate. Where's his foot? Well, the umpire was much closer, and he indicated that Taubensee's left foot was inches in front of home plate. And the Dodgers really steal one, 4-3. Our player of the game, what about Todd Hundley, who scored the winning run? Not a bad nomination whatsoever. So the Dodgers win a tough one in 14 innings on a bizarre play at the plate. Instead of a double play or even a force play, they came up empty. Take another look. Not there. Eddie's thinking about a tag, and for some reason then he thought his foot was on the plate. The umpire's watching. Let's see if we have an even a better look this close. Here comes Hundley. Watch the left foot. Nope, we still can't see if it's on or missed the plate. But we have been on stage long enough. Once again, the final score in 14, Dodgers 4, Reds 3. For Ross Porter and Rick Monday, this is Vin Scully saying so long from Dodger Stadium, and be sure to join us again tomorrow night in person if you can. The Dodgers take on the Reds in Game 2. Coverage begins at 7. You've been watching Dodger baseball on Fox Sports Net 2, and now we take you to the Fox Network Center for the National